see if they thought last night whether they would make some changes today to freshen it up after the week that they've had. But Max Cleworth never came into the equation. He was one I'm very surprised with. He's obviously made great recovery from his injury, and he's obviously looked good in training. Maybe Owen O'Connell wasn't at his peak performance on Tuesday night with the ball more than anything. Defensively he was sound. Maybe he's just given him a rest and just brought Max in, but it's great to see him back out and back on the grass and back in the team.
Yeah, I completely agree with Andy. I think, you know, if there was going to be someone coming in for O'Connell, I would have thought it would be Lewis Brunt, who doesn't even, you know, get on that bench today, which sort of says a lot about the quality of our squad at the moment, despite a number of players being out due to injury. So it'll be, you know, obviously very happy to see Max back. Just hoping it's not one that maybe he's come too soon. He's obviously must be ready for the all okay to have been given. So yeah, I'm sure he'll do a job today, and great to see him back on grass. Obviously a lot sooner than a lot of us expected after what looked at first glance when we first saw it like it could be a long-term injury. So great to see him back today.
And Rathbone for Cannon, it's like for like. Rathbone showed what he can do last Saturday, and Cannon, I mean, I thought Tuesday he might get rested because he took a battering in the Saturday before, didn't he?
That was at Rotherham, yeah. I called it yesterday. I thought Rathbone would start just to freshen up that group. I think he's been brilliant in the game that he played in the cup. I thought he was really led from the front in that, and then he's been great when he's come on, shown a really good attitude, showed he's got legs, and I think he's desperate for this start, and now it's his to lose, isn't it? It's his shirt to lose, and can he go on and put a performance in today that keeps him in the team?
Yeah, exactly. Before the game we were thinking that it might be Butlerson who actually gets on the bench, because, you know, as a striker he can run out there and give us a last 15 bit of energy, but it's actually Matty James, who has been training with the team for a couple of weeks, but surely hasn't made up for missing pre-season. But interesting to see him coming in. I mean, they both look like really cute signings when you've only got the free agent transfer market to dip into.
Well, it just shows, doesn't it, where this club's at the moment, to bring players like that in and to have the ability to just be able to go and have the finances to just go, oh, we're a little bit shy here of a couple of players, let's go and get 2 free agents, one an international and one that's played in the Prem as well. Why not? Do you know what I mean? And add to the squad. And so really looking forward to seeing. The noises I've heard about Matty James are that he is real quality. I'm a Leicester fan, so I grew up watching him in the Prem, and he was very good. He was good at Bristol City. He's played plenty of games as well. It's a real surprise he's not got a club up to now, but I'm really looking forward to seeing him and see what he brings to the group.
I mean, in his last 3 seasons he started more than 30 games in each of them in the Championship. That guy's got to have something about him to do that, so it's really, really intriguing. Yeah,
but it seems that if you're going over 30, we were just talking about it before, if you're over 30, you're done. Your career's done, and it really frustrates me because players like that have got so much to offer. I know there's a lot of games, and okay, he might not be able to do Saturday, Tuesday regularly, but he will bring to the group a real buzz and a bit of quality that maybe you just need to take us up that next level.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Andy. I think over the last few years in particular, we've really looked into that market of the 30 plus, and it's worked really well for us, you know, having those players that have had that history of very experienced, you know what they're coming into in certain situations where, and they've been able to make that impact off the bench. I think this summer we've gone a bit differently in terms of recruitment and brought in a few younger ones, which is great to see. But, you know, Parky knows what he's looking for when he looks in that market, and, you know, that them players have done really well for us. So I'm sure these two, who, you know, I think signed on only till January, so very much short term, but they can definitely make that impact and help us in that depth of department. You know, with now we look at this squad with a few players out injured for the foreseeable.
Yeah, it's fascinating. One little sad note personally for me is that I feel a bit sorry for Anthony Ford, who isn't registered now, because he's shown in a couple of Bristol Street games he's got qualities, but you can really see why we've gone for these 2 players. Theoretically, the worst that can happen is they don't quite work out, and we replace them in January, so no risk. As for the Charlton side, they made 4 changes in a team that could easily have won at Barnsley. Looking at them, I kind of feel like maybe it's the same shape and just different personnel, although they could maybe switch it around. Will Mannion is in goal. Across the back, we've got Tenai Watson, Alex Mitchell, Macaulay Gillespie, and Josh Edwards. Centre midfield, Greg Doherty dropping back in alongside Connor Coventry. Karoy Anderson, a 20-year-old Jamaican player who's been getting a bit of attention, is on the right. Tyrese Campbell comes back in on the left. Luke Berry, who came off the bench and scored 2 goals on Tuesday, is playing off the main striker, the experienced Matty Godden on the bench. For them, there's more hyphens than you could possibly dream of. Ashley Maynard-Brewer, Romani Edmonds-Green, Terry Taylor, Danny Hilton, Thierry Small, Alan Campbell and Miles Lieben, a good attacking player who's coming back from injury, who I suspect will be thrown on for the latter stages, and we'd have to be careful about him. Charlton, last 3 results have been good. Their manager Nathan Jones wasn't happy at them at Barnsley, but the fact is they were winning in added time. And their last home game, they drew a Stockport but had the better of the game. The one before that, they beat Birmingham City. So we can expect a challenge, can't we?
Yeah, well, they've only won 1 of the last 6 if you look at it like that. However, the one they did win was Birmingham, so they're obviously capable of beating big teams and good teams. But if you look at it again, the last 3 games they've not lost. So yeah, this is going to be a real test, I think, and a good test for us. And can we finish off this week with the 3 points?
Now we're going to have a minute's silence. I'll just let PA announcer take over.
Ousley sadly passed away. Lord Ousley co-founded Kick It Out, the country's leading anti-discrimination and anti-racism charity, in 1992, with Charlton Athletics Vice-Chairman Paul Elliott. Lord Ousley worked tirelessly and voluntarily as chairman of Kick It Out for 25 years to create a fairer and equal game from grassroots to elite. Please now join us in a period of applause in memory of Lord Ousley, which will begin and end on the referee's whistle. Thank you.
An appropriately loud tribute to Lord Ousley. He was a consistent and articulate voice against discrimination, and with the depressing events going on in the centre of this city today, how good to see Charlton honouring him, and also coincidentally having an event to honour their anti-racism charity, the Red, White and Black, which actually predates Kick It Out. But Lord Ousley's a great loss, especially in these times of all times. Anyway, here it goes. Wrexham kick off towards the Charlton fans. The atmosphere has been magnificent before the game as Cleworth knocks it long. Wrexham trying to replicate that Rotherham start again. This is repelled though, and now Wrexham need to be sharp. Dobson getting a foot in midfield, and then decisive work by Lee. That's home advantage, isn't it? Dobson and Lee know how to play on this pitch. The noise has been brilliant before the match. The Wrexham fans have been fantastic, and the Charlton fans joined in later on as as Mullin backing in, not quite able to win it, but Wrexham win it back high up the pitch, and it's helped quickly over to the left-hand side. McLean taking on his man, drops it in, it's blocked, good defending. It's only half cleared though. O'Connor high up the pitch, squaring it to Lee. It's crowded on this left-hand side. Lee is comfortable getting out of there. O'Connor, neat ball inside. Dobson, bit of space, squares it on. Rathbone helps it on again. Cleworth joining in. Barnett's first chance now to run at Edwards, level the edge of the area, and he delivers a good ball in. It's defended and kept from going for a corner by Edwards, who launches it clear. Something for Wrexham to deal with, and they do comfortably. Scar nodding the ball down. Godden, no chance of getting to that. O'Connor out wide to McLean. Great intensity from Wrexham here. O'Connor tries to feed it forwards. It's well intercepted. And now maybe Charlton can clear. No, they can't. They poke it straight out of play. That is a front foot start.
Well, they've been right at it. Every second ball, we've got a player down, actually. Tanai Watson, I think, sat down already.
Yeah.
Only a minute into the game.
That's why he kicked her off the pitch, wasn't it? I realise
right.
now. It seemed a particularly poor pass, didn't it? But what a fast start, though. Great to see Wrexham penning Charlton in like that.
Well, the kick-off, wasn't it? You know, the same thing. Ball goes back to your right side centre half, and the two boys, Palmer and Mullin, they go sprinting up the pitch. And look, unfortunately, Charlton a little bit better at defending than Rotherham were, or they were a bit more alive to it and defended it quite well. But yeah, Charlton haven't been in Wrexham's half yet.
Yeah, so Watts, I mean, goodness, they brought Watson in. He's not lasting a minute or a minute and a half before he's down, getting a long spell of treatment. So that's a bit of a concern for the home team. Yeah, the Ask Wrexham's been really lively today. Shelley from the States is watching, hoping to see one of the new signings have an impact. Looking through, Davis King says, nice looking stadium, first time seeing it on the stream. One of the things I like about away games, seeing the other club stadiums, this one has some good music, it is. Picked by Luke Berry, actually, and he is coming off. But you can still hear the Wrexham fans in the background. 2 goals from Mullin today, we'd certainly take that. So yeah, it looks like they're going to have to make a change immediately.
That's a real strange one. I don't know what he's coming, unless it was the part of when he blocked the cross. I don't know. But yeah, it's really unfortunate so early on in the game to have to come off. He just looks in.
So Romani,
really uncomfortable, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Romani Edmonds-Green has come on, the man who lost his place for this game, and he's straight back on again. Well, McLean is not giving the ball back. Charlton don't like that. It's headed partly away. Will be picked up by Elliot Lee. Good tackle on him. O'Connor gets a foot in, but then it's a switch inside, looking for Campbell. Nice idea that. Here he is again on the left now, driving and going beyond Cleworth, who can't stop him. Good recovery, mind. He is pulling his shirt. Free kick given. That's why he could recover. But wow, you don't see people doing that to Cleworth very often, do you?
No, and I'm sure Nathan Jones will have said to Tyrese Campbell, try and get at Max Cleworth, really test him first game back. Obviously, we didn't see him get any minutes on Tuesday night, so first proper taste of action for a while for Max. And yeah, he looked a bit lost for a few seconds there. He did recover really well in the end, but the ref has pulled it back for the initial foul.
So Berry is on the free kick. It's on the left corner of the box. Wrexham have let Mullin up front. 2-man wall. They'll need to be on their toes here. Referee is just wandering about and making sure he's happy with everything. Sam Perkis is the ref today. Gives the go-ahead. Berry rips it over the wall. Nasty ball across the face. Not sure if someone got a touch or not, but it was one that Okonkwo couldn't come from. Luckily, it goes just wide of the far post.
Well, he puts real pace on it. It's right in that corridor where keeper can't come for it. He just sort of aims for that far post, and any sort of touch on it, it goes into the back of the net. But fortunately for Wrexham, the line is good. It's high, it's penalty spot. So they just haven't got time to get in with the pace of the ball that goes in. Oh, they just don't get anything on it. It just goes whizzing past the hair, and the slightest of touch would have put it in.
Palmer wins his header well. The keeper comes out of the box to launch it clear. Will Mannion throwing deep in Wrexham's half, right-hand side. The ball's in the hands of Cleworth, who just had that chastening experience. Throws down the line. And Mullin can't quite bring her under control. Wrexham having to defend a long ball through the middle. Scar calmly nods it back to Okonkwo. So open start. Both sides.
Sorry, Mark, I'm just looking at the setup. We thought it was a 4-2-3-1. It looks like it's like a box midfield. Anderson tucking in with Luke Berry, and then Doherty and Coventry behind those two. So we are outnumbered in the middle of the park, so it's definitely going to be our full-backs, our wing-backs, that are going to be the ones that we need to get the ball to and quickly.
Well, Gillespie then just hesitated for a moment, but rectified things before Mullen could pounce. Now Dobson winning the ball back. It's picked up on the left by O'Connor, driving down the line, but his pass isn't accurate under pressure. Nathan Jones has been going insane since the start of the match. He did the Steve Evans, and he was in the stands on Tuesday after 3 yellows, and yeah, he's certainly not shy, is he, of having his voice heard?
There's quite a few managers been in the stands, hasn't there, so far this season? Is that something that's happened more this season than ever? I don't know. But it's weird, more yellow cards being given to coaches? I don't know.
I think I said last Tuesday, the referees' talks were saying about if you gesticulate as a demonstrative thing, we'll be bringing yellow cards out. I don't know if that's made a difference. To be fair, Steve Evans certainly, I think he's done well to only get 3 so far. So, we'll see. Okonkwo having to feed it down the right. Charlton working hard and Wrexham have the ball. And as a result, they've got it back. Campbell lays it off into midfield. And Charlton will start to move that around again with Mitchell squaring a big diagonal's a nice idea. Nodded in the goal mouth inaccurately. But Anderson had space there, didn't use it very well, just nodded straight into the hands of Okonkwo. They're getting at us. So Okonkwo drops it on the floor. Aims it down the right for Palmer. It's Gillespie blocks him off rather. Barnett's on the chase, trying to cause a problem, and he's done well to keep the ball in, but Gillespie will be able to clear it. Throw into Wrexham, just inside the Charlton half, right inside. Barnett grabs a spare ball, the multi-ball system on the side of the pitch, and I think he's stolen as many yards as he can now, as he'll take it about 25 yards out. Only Rathbone showing for him at the moment. And he receives it. Rathbone goes back to the halfway line, and Cleworth will have to feed Okonkwo. Switching it quickly out to the left. O'Connor now has got McLean outside him, plays it over the top for Mullen to chase against Mitchell. Mitchell heads it away. It's fed over the top of Wrexham's defence. Scar is the first one there. Launches it back where it came from. Dobson penalised for a pull on Doherty. I beg your pardon. On Coventry, Berry in the middle of the pitch. Free kick, which the youngster Anderson is standing on. And now Mitchell inside. Coventry. Ball lofted. Looking to put it over Cleworth, who intercepts well. Volleys it out for a throw-in. It's the 10th minute already. This team feels like it's flying past. Long ball towards Berry, trying to support his strikers. He helps it on. Cleworth part clearance. Barnett goes up and gets a foul. A little bit lucky, maybe. He came over the top of his man. But he's got his decision. He'll be happy with that.
Yeah, he got up first. The Charlton player's just gone underneath him a little bit, which is a bit unsafe. Hence the free kick.
Cleworth then with the free kick, standing up the big diagonal. He's looking for Palmer. He's under hit it. Palmer's done well to get up and win it, but he's penalised for climbing on Doherty's back. Doherty wants a quick free kick. Coventry doesn't oblige. So it'll be Mitchell once more. Short to the sub, Edmonds Green. He works it down line. Anderson, good strength to hold off O'Connor. Bit of a hot pass to Doherty. He recovers, but then gives it to O'Connor. Oh, and the ref's down now. And he looks in some discomfort. Wow. First Charlton's right back, and now the ref. I was wondering why he was blowing his whistle. But it's because he's gone down. Well. Right. Surprisingly, the fans on both sides have found something to unite them.
It was Ollie Rathbone's done him.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Really?
Ollie Rathbone's ran past him and just caught him on the inside of the knee.
Yellow? Or
yeah, definitely yellow. Definitely, yeah. Yeah. He's gone down easy, though, to be fair.
Yeah. He's going to have to buck himself for diving, is he? Well, it's been a funny old start.
Well, you said 10 minutes has gone, but
Yeah.
we've had about 6 minutes of physios on, haven't we?
Yeah, fair comment. Well, he's getting treatment. I got to be honest, when I looked up and saw him sprawled on the pitch, I thought a muscle had gone. But if he's just been kicked, I got no sympathy whatsoever.
He's saying it was on the inside. As Rathbones ran across the front of him, it's just clipped. We can see it here. It's just kneed him in the inside of the knee.
And then he jogs away very quickly.
That's right.
For me. He's left one on him. Well,
does he not have to go off for 30 seconds? Does that not apply?
I reckon he definitely should. Yeah. Like I said, the fans were delighted. Now he's coming off to the sides of the pitch, so he's going to give a drop ball, I suppose, isn't he? Yeah. He had odd, but disappointed linesman jogs back into position. He thought his moment had come. Speaking of applause and reactions of the crowd, when Dobson was called out, when the teams were read out at about 2:30, the Charlton fans gave Dobson a fantastic ovation. But when he's actually touched the ball, they've been booing him. As here he comes in for a challenge, can't get there, but he forces a heavy touch. Scar clears it. And now it's Mitchell working it square to Gillespie. That's a decent ball down the line. Campbell tries to turn Cleworth again, and he's managed to hold on to the ball. Cleworth nipping at his heels. Gets a bit of help as well from Barnett on the retreat, and he was extended fully there, Cleworth, but he managed to recover well. And the ball again, Edmonds Green dinks the ball in. Gordon dropping off, goes down too easily. Ref doesn't give that. And then Edmonds Green treads on the ball and falls over. The ref carries on once more. It's a strange, high-tempo, bitty start to this game. As Josh Edwards feeds it across to Mitchell. And Mitchell stabs it forwards, nicely taken by Anderson. Now it's Coventry. Campbell on the left. They switch sides well. Brilliant interception. Otherwise, Wrexham were in all sorts of trouble. But Barnett stuck a leg out as the ball was played between him and Cleworth. And Palmer helps her on. Now Mullen isolated on the right. Charlton getting back quicker than Wrexham are getting forward. Barnett's coming around the outside and receives it now. And bursts past Gillespie, who surely will be booked for that. No attempt to play the ball, just pushed him off the pitch. Nathan Jones not happy again when Mullen was charging like that. And no yellow. Wow, I'm sorry.
Yeah, right, that's a yellow for me.
I mean, you can't not give a yellow for that. If you get the free kick. Oh, that's so
Barnett
poor.
comes up, gives him great support. 1v1, knocks it. Understands he's against Gillespie rather than the fullback, Edwards. So he's got the pace on him. Gillespie saying that's his first one. Yeah, it's a bad one though.
Yeah, exactly. That's absolutely dreadful. There's no attempt to play the ball, pushes him off the pitch. Even.
Maybe the linesman's a bit too far away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Barnett
2 yards.
in. Yeah. I wish this ref had gone off now. Anyway, free kick level the edge of the area. And it will be O'Connor to whip it in. It's flat to the near post, goes across the face, and it's in! Did McLean get the touch on that, or was it an own goal? Wrexham don't care too much. It was vicious delivery by O'Connor, just over the defenders at the near post. There was a delay from the Wrexham fans and me, because just for a second you thought, where's that gone? Has it gone wide? But fair play.
Nobody really celebrated, did they? It was weird. But it's gone really low, very similar to the one Charlton had at the other end. He's put it in really low, and normally your front man is the one that heads it out, and it just deceives everybody. I think it gets the touch off one of the opposition players in there. Can't quite see who it is, so it's an own goal. But who cares? Great delivery in. Have to defend it, can't leave it. Ends up in the back of the net.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful whipped cross in. Sorry, Mark.
No.
Tom O'Connor, I just think he's such an asset to have in those situations. Obviously now we brought him in more as a midfielder, you could argue, but now in that defensive role he's been so vital for us over the past few years, and particularly on those set pieces. I think we've seen it a lot this year on corners in particular, where he just whips them in, puts the goalkeeper under no ends of pressure, and I think it is a definite own goal in the end.
And Wrexham immediately tried to capitalise from the Charlton kick-off. In the end, Manning gets it clear. Clearly the producers on the stream are looking at Mannion as an own goal, the way they kept showing him. He reacted as if he'd been as a deflection right in front of him, which had deceived him. But I'm not totally sure I could actually see that deflection. I wonder if it was just the free kick ripped in a bad area. He saw it late and it sort of hit him and went in. As Charlton win a corner straight away. Anderson looking lively.
Well, Anderson and Campbell have both started really lively, both quick, both direct. Going to have to make sure that we have full eyes on them, especially when they get the ball. Don't let them get their head of steam up. Don't let them run at you. Try and stop them at source as he receives the ball.
So corner right hand side. Josh Edwards, the left back, comes across to take it, plays it short to Berry. Wrexham only have one man out there, so they can work it in again. Back out wide to Berry. Charlton fans impatient, especially with that delivery, which Palmer volleys away easily for a throw in, level the edge of the area. It's Berry making a movement for Edwards, who's taking a bit of a run up now. Wrexham with everyone back defending. Mullen the furthest up, about 25 yards out. Slung into the near post, good distance, drops loose, and it's sliced over the bar by Doherty. It wasn't the easiest of chances. It wouldn't come down for him. He's right on the edge of the 6-yard box, and he got under it and sliced it over the bar.
Well, just before the throw-in comes in, I think it's Elliot Lee and Barnett. They swap players. They swap over players who they're marking. So Barnett comes out. Maybe it was Rathbone that goes in. So they swap over really quickly because they're not really too sure who they're meant to be marking, and it actually falls to Doherty, who was Barnett's man. Unfortunately enough, it just slices up and over the bar.
So Conquo with a long one. Palmer wins that well again. Mullen will pick this up, an early ball to McLean. Taking on his man down the channel. He helped this. He pulls it on the defender, pushes it away. Just for a second, the angle deceived me, and I thought he'd put it on target. But it was good defending that. But it's got to be said, Gillespie is really consistently getting beaten by Palmer in the air. As Charlton clear hurriedly to the anger of their fans. Scar chips it forwards. Palmer pinning his man. Great take with his chest. Good ball inside by McLean. The ref has belatedly given a handball. Did the linesman help him? Because he was on the blind side of it, the ref, and certainly didn't whistle at first. Anyway, Palmer's unlucky.
Yeah, like you say, Mark, Palmer winning a lot of those early battles early on in this game, and I think that's something I noticed in the previous weeks with Charlton. The 2 goals they conceded to Barnsley midweek, both initially came from mistakes, not winning that first ball over the top, and then they've been caught out. So that's something I'm sure today Wrexham will be looking to take advantage of.
Good layoff by Campbell into midfield, and Coventry goes driving down the left hand side, but Wrexham have closed that angle off, so he's played it into the box. That wasn't the worst idea at all, and Godden was running in behind Cleworth, who did well to volley it away. Barnett clears down the flank, hoping Mullen can get there, but Gillespie easily clears but gives it away. Rathbone's pass is inaccurate though. McLean is pressuring, forces a mistake, and now Wrexham have it on the halfway line. Elliot Lee helps it on to McLean, clearly grabbed hold of by Doherty. Ref doesn't give anything, and now it's O'Connor running into trouble. I felt he might have been fouled initially. Ref didn't give it, and it's a throw in the end to Charlton on the halfway line. I'm taking against this ref, just so you know. I just put that marker out there for when I really start getting unreasonable about him. Charlton again with the ball at the back. The noise you can hear is the Wrexham fans who've been making fantastic noise. The reporter next to me, who's a Charlton reporter, was saying that the best acoustics are in the away end, and the Wrexham fans are certainly making the most of it. Palmer, good foot in. And again, good hard tackle throw in. Wrexham fans are loving Palmer today. Throw in taken. Edwards back in his own half now. But yeah, what another early goal for Wrexham on the road. They won't want to sit on that lead as much as they did last Saturday in the first half, but as we can see here with the Wrexham players committing up the pitch, they're not looking to, but they have bypassed the press easily, and a sliding attempt by Lee to cut the ball off isn't effective, so Edmonds Green sweeps across at the far post. It's Barnett miscontrolling it as he tried to hook it clear. He just misjudged it. Campbell pulls it back, edge of the area. Shot is deflected by Coventry. That is a good save by Okonkwo. The initial shot looks like it's going to his right. He's got down long, full stretch to his left to put it behind.
Yeah, good. Both hands on it, spinning. It was awkward. It bounced just in front of him. Good strike. Dobson gets out really quickly to go and press the ball when he's just about to pull the trigger. Manages to just take a bit of sting off the ball, which makes Okonkwo able to get down and make the save.
Corner, right hand side then. And it's not Edwards on it this time. Instead, it's Berry singing in flat. And near post cleared by Rathbone in front of Okonkwo. Ball comes back in and is smashed clear. Boy, that was close. Rathbone did his job. Okonkwo may well got his body to it. Rathbone got good contact now. The ball back into the box. Headed towards goal and in! It's a peculiar goal by Gillespie. A looping header getting up above O'Connor and Scarr and just looped it. Okonkwo had no chance. It's a strange equaliser, but then Wrexham's goal was a bit peculiar too, and we're level again.
Well, I thought they got away with it because it was a brilliant corner into that near post and a really good glancing header. It's a long ball in, and it's right on the corner of the 6-yard box. A great header, looping it back over the top of Okonkwo. Just guides it, doesn't try to head it too hard, just pushes it over the top of the keeper and into the back of the net.
I'm going to adjust my opinion. That's a great header. It's wonderful, really isn't it? Good. I wondered the way it looped and got such height, whether it was a bit of a misheader, but no. That's a beauty, that. I think Wrexham will be disappointed to have two centre-backs in that area and not dealt with a long ball in. There's Palmer now, helping her on, Mullen, edge of the area. Charlton wanted a foul against Palmer. The ball drops loose. Palmer's after it again. It's hacked clear. And slowly, the Charlton player Palmer challenges getting up. Good header away from Palmer. But it's scrappy in midfield here. Dobson can't get goal side of his man. Important for Tim by Cleworth. Wow, it's suddenly lost all its shape. Wrexham trying to chase the ball down. And it's put out of play by Charlton. But again, so frantic, isn't it? That last few minutes, few seconds, no control. It's just like a schoolyard match.
Yeah, just on that goal, we've got 3 men to their 2. You'd sort of expect our defence to come out on top, and it is just a really top header in the end from Gillespie. But I do think, can we do better on that sort of looping ball in? And sort of back defenders.
Could Arthur have come for it, do you think? It's on the corner of his 6-yard. It's travelled a long way.
McLean down the line, headed partly away. Rathbone goes in bravely. Palmer brings it down, edge of the box, wouldn't quite stick for him. And it's smashed away again. O'Connor does well, hits it against Godden's arm, throw to Wrexham. His arm was up, but he was very close. So throw in. McLean will take. And the Wrexham fans, despite seeing Wrexham concede, still making great noise. McLean still waiting for movements, tells Palmer to come closer, and in the end slings it towards him and doesn't find him. Headed firmly clear by Mitchell. Godden heads it, helps her on. Scarr puts it down the line again, and again it's Mitchell heading it clear. Scarr will let that run out for the throw-in. 26th minute, we've had a bit of everything.
Well, Matty Godden for Charlton is playing the middle one up front, and he's got Campbell on the left, or up with him really, anywhere around the sides of him. But on every transition, Anderson is the one that's going up and getting in contact with him and making it 3 for 3 at the back, which means they can't then come and step out to one of the midfielders when they're playing through the lines.
Palmer gets it well from a Conquo ball, but both McLean and Mullin had anticipated him nodding it down into a different channel. Good foot in by Dobson. McLean laying it back, and here's Dobson. Nice first touch, switches quickly to the right. Barnett, another chance to win at Edwards. He approaches him, they double up, but he drives in the cross, which falls for Palmer. He dummies it, and Elliot Lee hits the bar with a lovely hit. It's a bit of a game of football, this, isn't it? End-to-end stuff.
Yeah, really good switch of play by Dobson. It gets Barnett 1v1. His cross isn't great, but what it does do is we've got 4 in the box already, because the first thought is, can I get into the box? And it's Elliot Lee's the one that peels back out for the slightly mishit cross, and he hits it so well. We're right behind it. It's curling right into that far top corner. Just hits and clips the bar and goes over.
That's fast-paced.
Hits it sweet.
Lovely hit, wasn't it? Long ball over the top. Scar makes it his. Nods it wide. Edmonds Green will get there first. McLean steps out. Played past him. O'Connor intercepts it. Mishits his clearance. Throw into Charlton, 30 yards out from the Wrexham goal. Right-hand side. Edmonds Green will take it. It's one of those games where I saw lots of great Ask Wrexham stuff before the match. I'm going to have to look at it at half-time, I think. Can't take your eyes off this. Anderson offering down the line. Lee gets a foot in and McLean heads it square. Dobson hooks it towards the halfway line. Mitchell makes it his. Doesn't get a good contact on that. Great take by Barnett, who beats Edwards and is rugby tackled. And will the ref find his yellow card this time? Yes, he will. It appears. Yeah.
So what's the difference then?
Yeah.
What's the difference between that and the other one?
The difference is that the other one was in a much more dangerous part of the pitch.
Yeah. The difference is one was a yellow and one wasn't.
Well, yeah. In the mind of only one person, as far as I can see. He signalled us at the ref then when he booked Edwards as if to say, look at all that space behind you could have run into. Yeah, Barnett was already in that space when he got fouled the first time. That first decision was shocking as Palmer again wins it well, and Mullins pulled to the ground in the D. I mean, that was... I know Mullin backs in and he's cute with that sort of thing, but I mean, he made no attempts to get his hands off and let Mullin just fall over. And Wrexham got a free kick in a really promising shooting position.
Again, it comes off that Ollie Palmer initial win of the header, and I think he's looked really sharp so far this game, not only going forward in those little challenges from those long balls, but also coming back. We've seen it a few times, him now working hard defensively to win the ball back for Wrexham.
He's showing Betharson, you're not going to get my place, pal. He looks really fired up, doesn't he? He's doing so well without the ball. He's dominating the aerial challenges, and he teed Mullin up there. He's pulled down, and our free kick right on the left edge of the D. O'Connor and Mullin are on it. Berry's trying a bit of off-putting chat, but the ref's not interested. So a 4-man wall. Like I said, it's pretty central, this. Referee's taking a long time setting this up. Real air of tension around the ground. He's now warning the runners to stay back. He's given the go-ahead now. So O'Connor and Mullin are ready. Scar is pushing a man out the way. Mullin puts it way over. And he's not happy with himself. Throws his head back at it. He just got right underneath that, didn't he?
So much anticipation of it as well. I just thought, finish with violence. It's very, very difficult from there, that distance, to get it up and down over the wall. So I think you're going with power, but all you have to do is just try and get it on target, hope for a deflection, something. Just leans back on it slightly and it up and over the bar it goes.
It's a bit of a let-off for Charlton as Berry latches onto it. Great defending by Cleworth. Uses his body strength well to block him off and turn on the ball. And now here's McLean breaking down the left-hand side. Mullin has made a good run for him. McLean feeds it into his path on the left side of the box. Mullin holding it up. Again, I mean, Mitchell, I think Morrell. Mullin maybe got down a bit quickly. I don't think that was totally your fault. But the way that immediately Mitchell just comes and starts feeling for him and grabbing him. I mean, the ref's not going to allow that every single time, is he? He's not going to ignore every single time he does that.
So now keeper down, is it?
Well, we had the right back go off after 2 minutes. We've had Ollie Rathbone put a reducer on the ref. And now we have got Mannion, the keeper, who may have scored Wrexham's goal. Who knows what they're going to do.
Be lucky to get the last train here. This could be a long one.
Absolutely. Yeah, so not for the first time. The Charlton players are all standing around Nathan Jones, who is going insane at them. This is spectacular. It's like when Father Ted has the little perfect square of black dirt on the window. He's just ranting and raving at him. He's throwing his arms in the air. Wow. Shine retiring, he ain't. Wrexham, apart from a few players taking on the water, haven't gone across to Parkinson. I think Parkinson's quite happy with the way we responded to that goal, isn't he? I mean, we've come back at Charlton hard.
Yeah, there's two very different demeanours down there on the side of the pitch, but no, I think we have responded really well since that goal. Just re-watching it again, it is a really nice ball floated over, and you could maybe question, like Andy said, if Arthur could come out. It's just in that sort of area of uncertainty, really. But it's you can't take anything away from the goal. It's such a great header.
Well, Mannion is up. McLean throws it in and gets it nowhere near a teammate. But it's launched clear. And Godden does really well to win that. Cleworth had two opponents on him. Plays the back pass and it's slightly underhit. Okonkwo has to hurry to get there ahead of Campbell. Fair play to Godden. They've launched quite a lot of rubbish at him. He did really well to make something of that. Throw on the halfway line then. Edmonds Green down the line. Scar calmly intercepts it. O'Connor though tries to go beyond this man, can't. McLean's done really well to clear that. Palmer goes down, ref gives it. Charlton fans and, surprise, surprise, Nathan Jones are not happy. I think they feel that the ref's not giving free kicks against us for quite physical tackles, but is giving free kicks against them for shirt tugs. I'd say, yeah, and generally I feel the ref's got it right with that. I think Wrexham have been very robust, but within the rules. Here's O'Connor now, feeding it to the halfway line. Lee is given time to get a turn in, but Doherty gets a block on his pass, and it's cleared. Dobson gets it well in the air, wins the header. It's helped on, and then, well, I mean, rather blatantly, Campbell trying to run into O'Connor. Ref doesn't fall for that. It's winding the Charlton fans up though. Here's Dobson, immediately challenged well. And the Dobson, though, typical calmness, finds Cleworth has a good first touch as the ball landed on the half volley. And Barnett again has Edwards, who's on a yellow, isolated. Berry's coming across. Barnett tries to go beyond him. This time Edwards gets close to him and gets a foot in. But Barnett has got to be rubbing his hands next when he gets one-on-one with him now. As Rapone nutmegs his man. Feeds a good ball to Palmer, out wide. Barnett again takes on Edwards. It bounces off Barnett. Throw to Charlton. Ref stop play again. You just stop play.
Well, because there's so many shirt tugs and he's giving a few free kicks to Wrexham, now Charlton are wanting to do the same. They're looking to go down on any contact. Yeah. But just stop holding shirts. If you don't hold a shirt, the ref won't give a free kick.
Yeah. Exactly. They've not hidden it well, have they? The ref's having a very long conversation. I think they are changing the ref, yeah. I wondered why he stopped play then. So he comes across to inform McLean, the Wrexham captain, having informed the Charlton captain, Doherty. Nice, well brought up man that James McLean is. He shakes his hand. And the referee walks off the pitch.
Good reception, isn't he? Coming off. Oh, yeah. God. Who would be a referee?
Well, the Charlton fans are singing "You're not fit to referee," which actually, strictly speaking, is accurate, isn't it? But, so yeah. And of course, a change of ref now is a complex thing, isn't it? Where you have to swap over all their electrical equipment and transponders and different stuff. The chip that is inserted into the back of their heads when they qualify as a full referee has to be taken out. All that stuff. So the linesman's going to take... No, the fourth official's going to take over, I think, isn't he? Linesman stayed the same. Phil Parkinson, meanwhile, just stands there on his own with his hands in his pockets. Seen it all before. I was saying before the game about bizarre incidents in Wrexham Charlton matches. Dixie McNeil stepping up at the racecourse to take a penalty and complete a hat-trick, and then getting annoyed of the goalkeeper's antics, booting the ball into the net before the referee had blown the whistle and getting sent off. So, there's been some odd stuff. But yeah, they'll take a bit of time. Now, the ref's down to his Under Armour. But you've got to be happy with the way this game starts from Wrexham's point of view, I would have thought, as an announcer announcing the referee's substitution. You've got to be happy the way Wrexham has started off, even if they've let in that equaliser.
Yeah, I think it's been fairly even, the game. To be fair, Wrexham have probed and kept running. Ollie Palmer's, like Mia has said, has been very dominant in the air on those diagonal balls, those first duels. But Charlton have equally been, when two wide boys have got it, in Anderson and Campbell, they've looked electric, haven't they, at times? And I think both teams also from set pieces have looked dangerous. One on the Charlton's goal coming from the regain, and Wrexham's direct from a free kick. So I think that will be your best chance. These types of games, it might be the difference between the two teams.
It's interesting, Anderson. I came across one of those annoying clickbaity articles, so, like the one that suggested that Barnett should be dropped for the game where he had 3 assists. That sort of expert opinion, saying that Anderson should be dropped. And of course, when you read, I feel dirty when I click on those links. I feel wrong, but I did look at it, and it was bull. Surprise, surprise. There was no basis for it whatsoever. But it was basically suggesting that because Wrexham are good and have experienced players, and Anderson is 20, he must be dropped. I never really understood that logic's ever applied. But he looks very lively, doesn't he? And he's a big physical lad as well. Fourth officials left some hardware behind.
Maybe his whistle.
Yes.
It's got all the electronics on it, but I've forgotten to take that thing I blow.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
I think it was actually the magic spray, which, is just so necessary.
Yeah. I mean, was football invented before the invention of magic spray? I can't imagine that. Surely not. My distrust of referees comes from the fact I was only ever booked once, and it was for being improperly attired. Playing in goal. Hot day, rolled my sleeves up, he booked me. He could have said roll your sleeves down, couldn't he? Anyway.
I was wondering what you're going to say with inappropriate attire.
Yeah, I was in full drag as well. Absolutely right. I once went to a party dressed as Dame Edna Everage, and my own father didn't recognise me as the new ref. Same as the old ref, as the Who said. O'Connor with a little nudge, he doesn't give it. Wrexham have a throw on the halfway line. McLean gets it back from Lee and then tries to nick past his man, and as an afterthought tries to claim he was kicked. He wasn't. Ref doesn't fall for it. McLean just has a bit of a pop at him for a bit while the ball's in play, but he's got back into position now. Edwards squaring it on. I wonder if this ref's a bit braver than the other ref for that chickening out of the yellow card. That's a scuffed ball, but it's an accurate one. Well done, Dobson. Comes across, tackles Anderson and drills it forwards, and Mullin was just trying to nip him behind Mitchell. He defended it well. Poor touch this time by Godden, though. And Wrexham claim it back. Barnett down the line, asking a lot of Palmer, but he'll put pressure on Gillespie, and there's a heavy first touch, but he's managed to find a teammate. Charlton looking to play their way out of trouble. Campbell backing in to Cleworth. The two of them, I think, both pulling shirts. The decision goes Charlton's way. And Campbell rewards Godden, I beg your pardon, Berry, with a bit of a hospital ball, which he manages to get to before Dobson. It's still got that edge of slight sloppiness in the passing in this game. The ball's played into the Wrexham box at the diagonal, this time dealt with comfortably by O'Connor. McLean volleys it forwards. Mitchell volleys it back. Scarr looks to tee it up for McLean and just pops it over his manager's head for a throw-in.
Well, I feel for Dobson a little bit in this because they're playing a box 4. Dobson's got 2 players either side, so if the ball is on the right-hand side of the pitch, he comes across to mark the one that's in the pocket there. But if it's a quick switch, then the pass straight into Anderson or vice versa into Berry is on, and there's nothing the back 3 can do about it.
from the throw-in. Godden had a poor first touch and really made up for it well, and as a result they're now crossing it in towards him and Anderson, but it's too high. McLean keeps it in and then sweeps past Anderson and tries to drive down the pitch. McLean up towards Lee. That's a great tackle on him though by Coventry, and Anderson's got options. He feeds it inside. Berry fakes the shoots, then turns, drills it, deflected, but Okonkwo gets across again. Dobson getting the block, and it just took a bit of pace off it, and Okonkwo delivers early. Mullins on his own. Mitchell misheads, so Mullins still scrapping for it. Gillespie comes across and helps him out. Palmer's there now, he's won the ball back. Now he needs to lay that off. Barnett is available, finds Barnett, and Edwards is isolated again, gets a block on it. The cross comes in, keeper punches it back towards Barnett. Barnett level the edge of the area. It's real harum-scarum stuff, this. Barnett's got an overlap in Cleworth. He sweeps it instead and gets it wrong, puts it into the crowd. There's a lot of fast-paced stuff, forcing mistakes, isn't it? You know, and you keeping you on your toes. Anything seems like it could happen.
Well, both front players are giving the defenders no time to rest. Every ball's competed for, and you've got to be bang at it, or the headers there that Mullin are just using their body to put them off, so they're not heading it in the right direction, they're heading it up, and then they're able to get the second ball. I thought Elliot Lee was coming right onto it, and Palmer sort of just took it off his toe when he was about to belt it, but ball goes out to Barney, and it's uncharacteristic, isn't it, for him to put it over the bar.
Yeah, Max Cleworth had made a really good overlapping run, which I think, you know, on second glance he should probably have used.
Good scrapping by Dobson in his own half to win it back. 2 minutes left of the half, but then no doubt an interminable period of injury time as O'Connor overruns it. Good tackle in midfield by Doherty. McLean with a throw in on the halfway line. He'll leave it to O'Connor. Scar is offering in his own half. O'Connor is looking to play it down the line. Is he? Nope. Squares it. Dobson. Neat little touch with the sole of his boot to find McLean. O'Connor lifts it over the top. Mullins chasing this difficult one to take, and it's got just too much on it. Keeper lets it go behind. I've got to admit, I thought it took a deflection, but I'm clearly wrong because no one asked for it. So, another minute and a half, and we'll find out just how long the replacement referee is going to add on. A regular Ask Wrexham correspondent has kindly put out a picture of the Father Ted clip I was mentioning, with the perfect square of dirt and him ranting in the front room, not realising how he looks from the outside. When is the last time you saw a 60-minute first half? This is wild, asks Jim Zaroli. It's knocked over the top by Coventry, too much on that. Well, we did, very unfortunate circumstances, have half an hour added on when we played up Bromley and Rob Lainton had a head injury. So I think in terms of Wrexham, I'm probably thinking that for an actual hour first half. The Scar helps it around the corner. Cleworth can drive over the halfway line. Rathbone's asking for it. He feeds it into Barnett. It's a tight little area. Palmer can't find a return pass to Barnett. Fights hard to keep hold of possession though. And then he picks up Cleworth, still in that crowded area. It's all very adjacent. Mullin looks offside, is offside. It was good vision by Cleworth to feed him in, but yeah, he was off. He has a shot after the whistle and apologises to the ref, and the ref isn't in the mood to bring out a yellow for him.
10 minutes.
10? Wow. I thought, well, Jim, if you're excited about the idea of a first half lasting an hour, he said minimum, didn't he? Who knows what will happen in the next 10 minutes?
Yeah, well, you've seen Liella's given for kicking the ball away after the whistle.
Yeah,
Mullin definitely had a shot. Whether he heard the whistle or not, he would say not. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, me neither. But after that let off for Gillespie, anything can be let off, I reckon. As the ball's knocked down the line, Scar gets a good foot onto it. Comes back in again. Aggressive defending by Cleworth now. It's Scar again as well. The two of them using their height while Rathbone can't hold on to the ball though. It's fed into the hole, but Elliott intercepts, and again Mitchell just misjudged that. He'll tidy up and get it back to the keeper, and Palmer clatters him Ollie Rathbone style. But not much point in that, really, apart from leaving one on him, I think.
Well, I just think he tried to go round him and it just happened to step the opposite way. Ollie Palmer thinks he's going to go the other way. Just ends up brawling him, doesn't he? Taking him down.
The attendance, we had it, about 10 minutes ago, was impressively early. 24,692, 2,647 Wrexham fans. I'll be picking the bones out of that tonight, trying to work out all the stats.
That's brilliant.
It's terrific, isn't it? So, knocked long by Mannion. And it's Barnett hooking it clear. Headed back down the line. Campbell won't get there. And now it's Barnett looking for Palmer, but not really giving him something he could chase after. And the ball's knocked long and a back pass to Okonkwo. Got wrong there. Scar and Cluas not communicating well. Luckily, Campbell didn't get there. It's a corner.
Yeah, well, I think this is the first game properly we're seeing Dan Scarr and Max Cleworth play together, and just there, as soon as Dan Scarr went for it, Max Cleworth sort of put his hands up in the air, sort of suggesting that he thought it was his. And you can see the lack of communication, not only between them, but maybe Arthur as well, who doesn't come for it in the end.
So an unnecessary corner. Mind you, it could have been a lot worse. There'd be an in-swinger. Wrexham, I was going to say naturally with a hard time so close. It's not that close though, is it? But they got everybody back. Ball swept in with height to the far post behind everybody. It's retrieved and a powerful strike by Coventry goes over the bar. He got hold of it, but it was never going to come down the way he was leaning backwards.
Interesting set piece though.
Yeah.
A lot of movement in the box, and then it's sort of dinked to the far post, but edge of the box for one of the centre halves, Mitchell, to come around. A little soft touch on the edge of the box and the shot. Not obvious, not one you see very often, that one.
No. Deliberate, do you think?
Not sure.
The Concourse penalty area has suddenly become very popular with pigeons. They've left it now. They were there before the corner as well. Okonkwo knocks it long. Free header clear by Mitchell. Gordon brings down turns, plays the ball down the channel. Scar just gets there ahead of Anderson, whose pace is impressive. That's a good ball to Mullen. It helps it on. First time pass back by Palmer. That's good work. And now Barnett again has a run at Edwards. Fakes to play it early, then does play it early. Lee tries to bring it down and can't. McLean just cushions it to the far post. Palmer jumps, knocks it down. He's sort of jumped into a bit by Gillespie, but referee's all happy with it. McLean back in again. Mullen will have to challenge. Palmer was offside and it bounces. And in the end, it gets through to Mannion. But just like that, mix up between Scar and Cleworth. See what I mean about it? I just get the sense somebody could make a daft mistake at some point. There's a lot of edgy stuff going on in defences here. Yeah,
absolutely, man. That, like you say, Matt, from both defences too. Just in little moments, a bit panicky, little unsure on where their man is. Bit of that lack of communication from maybe the goalkeeper and behind him, who can just tell them you've got time or get rid.
Heavy touch by Mullen ends an attack. Dobson being backed into does well to get a foot in, but the loose ball falls at Campbell on the right hand side for a change. Dobson comes across and Campbell gets his pass all wrong. Throw into Wrexham. To be fair, Lee and Dobson both tracked back hard to restrict that space and force the mistake. So we've halfway through the 10 added minutes. O'Connor with the throw in. Looking for Palmer. Goes beyond him and is smashed clear. O'Connor wins the header. Dobson does too. Good work by Lee to get there. And he works in Cleworth, who goes charging forwards. Now then, Barnett is outside him. Cleworth continues to gallop on. Finds Barnett again. Edwards to beat. He cuts inside. Little rollover. Swoops in a near post cross. Too close to the keeper. I think Barnett, considering the amount of times he had the chances to run at Edwards, will be a bit disappointed he's not put more in. That's the two strikers have been able to get in the end of.
He's just trying to get that half a yard to put in a quality ball like he normally does. I would like him, with Edwards being on a yellow, I'd like him to really go at him 1v1 and try and go past him, put him under a little bit more pressure.
Yeah, exactly. Ask him to make a challenge. Ask him to do something to stop him putting it in. Just, naturally you get to a point where a guy might pull out simply to stop the inevitable red. Throw in then 15 yards into Wrexham's half, left hand side. Edwards slowly creeping forwards, pinching yards inch by inch. In the end, gets it back and gives it away. Dobson is beaten to it in the middle of the pitch, and the ball's fed back to the centre circle. Mitchell plays it straight at the feet of Dobson. And Dobson takes his time and picks a pass out for Barnett, chipping it forwards, looking for Mullin. But Gillespie is able to adjust and nod the ball down. And now it's Charlton driving forwards. Ball spread to Edmonds Green, which takes a bit of pace out of the attack. And the fans aren't happy as he goes backwards to Mitchell. Not sure the pass gave him all that many options. This time it's threaded nicely between the lines and Cleworth comes out and fouls. Oh, well, ref said he got the ball. Palmer on the halfway line, holding the ball up well. Nathan Jones is now dancing side to side like Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob. It's Scar helping her onto the right-hand side. Cleworth feeds Barnett on the halfway line. He looks to get a half turn in. Edwards has come up with him, sticking to him, and it's fed in to O'Connor. And if he'd looked the same way, Rathbone made a good run down the space that Edwards had to vacate. As it is McLean, good return pass to O'Connor, who feeds it into Palmer. Back to goal, sweeps a lovely switch to Barnes, who brings it down, but the ball gets away from him. Edwards as well to thrash it clear. Throw in. 2.5 added minutes left.
Yeah, that was good. Good play by Wrexham. This time they're down in here under a little bit of pressure, but they're able to play out. And that enables them to get the ball out to Barnett. Then they come back across the pitch, just switches play, makes Charlton work across the pitch, just maybe free up a little bit more space for the front two and enable our midfielders to get in contact with our front two, because at the minute, as it's going up to Palmer, it's really only Mullin around him.
Throw into Wrexham on the halfway line. Cleworth short, gets it back from Rathbone. A passer puts him slightly on the back foot. Dobson turns though, and that's a switch towards McLean. It'll just have too much on it. McLean was in space. Sort of pass that Dobson usually nails, which is a comment on his quality. Early ball forwards, Wrexham pressed well and forced the clearance, and O'Connor's able to get a foot in. Throw to Charlton, just short of the halfway line. It's going to be Edmonds Green to take it. Right in front of his manager. Gordon's come down the line. Slung down the line towards a target man, but McLean gets up ahead of him to head it away. Gordon tries to flick it on, intercepted, but then a tackle, big tackle by Rathbone on the edge of the area. Came round his man to win the ball. Again, Charlton want the foul not given. Palmer again plays a good switch. Rathbone now just waiting for Barnett to get up outside him. Instead, he places at the corner of box. Mullin is there. First time out to Barnett. Rathbone's available. Barnett uses him. 35 yards out, right-hand side. Dobson, nice little bleak pass. Mullin backing into his man. Again, looked to be pulled, but the ref's not interested this time. And as a result, Charlton have it back. Promising little break that, but it breaks down. And now it's long towards Gordon, but inaccurate, and Scar's got time to control it. Drives it long over the top. Mullin against Gillespie, and he manages to get to it, but can only head it out for the throw. I'm just having a sneaky look at the whole Cleworth-Scar thing. That you've got a point there, haven't you? How often have they been on the pitch together? Oh, they had a little spell when Scar first came into the team. So they started 2 games together, and they've also, yeah. Half time. That caught me out. I thought we had another 15 minutes at least. So half time, Charlton 1, Wrexham 1. I mean, a frantic half. Anything could have happened in that half, frankly, couldn't it? It was.
Yeah, I think so. You know, especially when you consider the amount of stoppages we had, it's quite easy for a game to sort of lose its intensity. But both teams, full credit to them, both going for it equally. And I think it's fair to say a fairly even game in the end. Ahead of what should be another good 45 minutes ahead. I think Wrexham will be delighted with how they've gone forward at times. I think they've had some really good little passages of play. Ollie Palmer, I think, has been really good. I think Paul Mullin maybe looking this second half, just looking back on that foul that he didn't get in the end, just in those last 5 minutes. I think he does go down just slightly a bit too easily. Just doesn't try and get that pass off in the end, and just is looking more for the foul than to try and play football. But yeah, I think Wrexham will be quite happy with that first half. I think on that goal that they conceded, maybe was there a bit of a tug of the shirt, a bit of a push on one of our defenders. I'm not too sure. I think maybe Phil Parkinson will be asking that question. But no, I think they'll be happy with that. Charlton showing a good amount of quality as well.
Yeah, I think it's been very even, hasn't it? I think probably a draw at half-time is probably fair. A couple of half chances for both teams, a couple of set pieces that the goals come from. And so I think Parkinson will be pleased with his first half. I think just that last 5 minutes, Wrexham have certainly made a couple more passes to try and get out and kept the ball a little bit longer, which enables us to then move up the pitch together as a group rather than just going first time into Palmer. Even though Palmer has been really good on those first duels, we just haven't got bodies around him to get second balls. And with them playing 4 in the middle, it's very, very difficult to pick up those second balls that are dropped down because there's an extra man in there for Charlton.
I'm going to say it quite quietly and don't make it obvious, but over your right shoulders in the front row, in a black coat, is Bernardo Silva, I swear. Don't make it obvious, but I'm not wrong, am I? That's Bernardo Silva, isn't it? Eastonder's back now. There you go. City are playing this afternoon, so he must have been dropped. Eyeing up a move to oil money Wrexham.
So just looking at the stats here, 56% possession Charlton, 43. It's quite high for Wrexham away from home. But yeah, very, very even. I think a lot of them, opportunities, chances, etc. There's nothing between the two teams in that first half for me.
No, absolutely. Which is, sort of encouraging when you're the away team. We've given them a lot to think about. Notwithstanding, their defence has looked like if you pressure it, you might be able to get something out of them. They got a full back on a yellow against our best creative player. But on the other hand, we didn't defend that goal terribly well, and we also had that mix-up between Cleworth and Scar. So, yeah, it's open, it's exciting.
Well, we've had no shots on goal.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, Coventry, according to PA data, which sort of gets the final word, Coventry's been given an own goal. Like I said, my view on it, I couldn't quite catch it, although I've got to be honest, as it was scrolling through the different angles, they went to one where I thought, right, I'll definitely be able to see it. But then we kicked off and Mullin tried to win the ball. But something happened straight away and I didn't see it. But yeah, it just looks like the keeper, Mannion, it just reacted as if the ball had taken a big deflection right in front of him, didn't it? Because it hit his body. And you sort of think, well, surely something's diverted its path. But I couldn't, on all the other angles I saw, I couldn't see anything. But
no, I agree. I think on first glance I thought it definitely took a nick off. I think it was Luke Berry who was making a sort of run back in to try and defend it. But yeah, I think it is just the pace of the ball in the end. Maybe it's just caught him out because there were actually no Wrexham players, sort of making that run towards the near post to try and get a flick on. Really, it was more all the Charlton defensive side. So. Yeah, I'm not too sure in the end. We'll have to see a few more of the highlights of it, I think.
Like I said, they've credited Coventry, so it makes sense somebody's got a touch. It was just very difficult to detect. And it was a bit like watching the test match in Pakistan with England, where the pitch is so slow and low that the slip fielders are coming in really, really close. And then the problem, of course, is the ball comes too quickly, actually, and you can't react in time. And that's how the keeper sort of reacted, as if it suddenly changed direction. Some Ask Wrexham questions. There's some very nice Ask Wrexham questions here, and here's one which I've got a thought about this, but I'm going to leave it to the pros. Blue Haynes says it looks like Tom O'Connor's chewing gum. How common is this? I don't think at least the physios would be worried about someone choking on the pitch. So,
I think it becomes habit for some. Because they've done it for so long, it's like a superstition, I suppose. Yes, it is a hazard. Yes, it is in your first aid when you go through your coaching badges, etc. It's something that you try and stamp out if you've got kids. But this is professional football. If they want to chew a piece of chewing gum when they're playing, and it is probably more common than you think in football, you just don't really look out for it, do you?
The other thing, I suppose, coming into those sort of habits is coming over from like Scandinavia is this snus stuff, of course, which is a tobacco product. I'm not saying that's O'Connor's doing that, by the way, at all. I'm just saying that's another sort of factor that's come in where some players think they get some sort of boost from it, but now there's more and more tests saying that it can cause like gum cancer and things like that. And yeah, you would assume, because there's a story in The Athletic about a year ago saying that the number of people using it in the Premier League is astounding. But one would assume clubs are trying to weed that out, so to speak. Ohio Wrexham also said, what's the largest amount of stoppage time I've ever seen added? I think in a game I was at, definitely that Leighton one where they added 15 minutes in the first half. I mean, they've been, remember there was
a game at home where we had 3 head injuries for the opposition. That's correct, yeah. Where there was like ages that stitching up and taping up and taking them off and dealing with them, because there was 2 Barrow players in one, wasn't there, where they both concussed and so that's probably the longest one for me. That's
a good call. See if I can find how much they added on to that. And also, I mean, remember the last World Cup? All these, I'm trying to be cynical about refereeing initiatives. They were, we'll add on every second of added time, get used to long periods, and there were some very long ones then. But I can't recall. In England's first game, the opposing goalie got injured. I can't remember who it was against, and that took an eternity to clear up. So I think there was about 15 added onto that. But I'm willing to be, proven wrong. So it's hard to concentrate on a game when you're supposed to be teaching a class of kids. I didn't say that. I did not say. Hang on, doesn't matter anymore. I did say that, and I did do that, and I'm proud. There.
Just watching the replay of the goal against that Charlton scored. Maybe I'm a bit harsh on Arthur. It's quite a long way out. It has travelled quite a long way though, but Jocelyn maybe would have come for it.
But we don't know what the end product would have been.
That's right, yeah. Probably just gone straight over his head.
Yeah. And as well, having a couple of centre-backs there to deal with it, I think he's entitled to think, just let him. They should have this, but good header though, to be fair. AI is telling me, yes, there was added time at the end of the Wrexham Barrow game. I'm aware of that. I'll find something. 11 minutes. There you go. So that Barrow game, 11 minutes. So better than this. If you have any ideas out there, please throw them in. Everyone's Googling longest added time period now.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we want to draw your attention to the big screen where we had a whole
sorry.
No, I was just going to ask Mia what do you think second half? What do you think Parky's saying?
I think the quality can, improve still massively. I don't think we've, at times shown that bit of, first-class touch that we have so far this season. I think maybe Ryan Barnett as well going forward. I think he's, at times got that little bit of space, and just that final cross into the box just hasn't quite been there. He's got it right a couple of times, I think, to that Elliott Lee crossbar chance. So, like you said, it wasn't the best ball in, but it was just sort of curling back out wide, and it was actually a really nice little dummy from Ollie Palmer, who leaves it for Elliott Lee, and he catches it so well, and it's a great opportunity. Just a few inches off target, but I think going into the second half now, I think they're working hard. I think physically we've been really impressive and sort of dominated in certain areas of the pitch, especially with the referee happy to let some of them go, particularly with George Dobson, Ollie Rathbone in that middle of the park. But second half, I think now looking forward, I think going forward you just want to be a bit more careful on that ball, making sure we're not doing too many of those. I know he likes to play them, but over the top. I think at times we've hit that ball a bit too late. Maybe I saw on the one where Paul Mullin was offside. He's sort of saying to Max, just speed it up a little bit. Just sort of gesturing. It just needs to be a bit quicker, just to make sure we can try and catch him out, not leave it too late, allow him to get back. But like we said, I think he'll be happy with that first half, and just hoping he can go again this second.
I'd like to see Rathbone and Lee getting on the ball a little bit more. I haven't really seen them in good areas, getting on the half turn and moving the ball quickly. We seem to we're going, when we do have it, it's straight to Barney and he's down the wing. Can we get some interchanges with those into the strikers? Can we play the little bit? There was a relationship, wasn't there, between Palmer and Mullin when the ball came in. He just spun it round the corner and followed it. Those sorts of relationships, they're the key ones that You can, aye. Somebody's just hit the crossbar and won a prize.
Wow. On Match of the Day 2 last week, when they had the too good, too bad thing, one of the comedy cuts they showed was somebody trying to hit the crossbar, but not getting quite enough on it and sticking it in the roof of the net. And it was like, how is that funny? Surely, why is that amusing? I didn't get it. I've seen that happen beautifully in a rugby game in Australia, and of course anyone who's listened to the commentaries know that I despise rugby, but rugby league I prefer to union if somebody put a gun to my head, and I went just for the experience, and it was unbelievable. They had 3 people who were supposed to try and kick a conversion, and the first one they could do it like 10 yards out, but it was a tiny little kid and he had absolutely no chance, you know. Then the second one was from 30 yards out, and again, carefully choosing their victims. It was a woman who was wearing really high heels, and that didn't help her much, so she had no chance. And then the third guy was a proper, no offence Australian listeners, but a proper Aussie larrikin who they'd picked out because he had a big beer belly, obviously, and he's standing on the pitch, and he's got to score from the halfway line, so yeah, no chance. And he did it. The stadium, he was went to like a sort of 2-step run up, just swung his foot at it, boom, it flew in. The whole stadium went insane, and then the guy with the mic made the worst mistake of his life. He handed the mic to an overexcited, half-drunk guy who had just done that, and he just went, "Oh!" and then another word for feces, shall we say, and the whole stadium. It was that beautiful, beautiful moment. There was a message earlier, and I found the answer for it, and now I can't find the question. I do apologise to whoever sent her in. Just saying, when was the last time Palmer and Mullin played 90 minutes together? Because, of course, Palmer's not finished 90 minutes this season. Although, to be fair, there's tactical reasons, I think, to that, rather than any sort of doubts that he can cope with 90 minutes. Where is it? Well, anyway, I'll give you the answer, and I'll try and find the person retrospectively, because the answer is February 2023, when we drew against Woking. So that was when the season we got 112 points, and that was the only home game we dropped any points for. So that's why we don't put them on for the whole 90. But of course, I mean, in reality, Palmer's job is battering ram, 70 minutes of energy, and then you can bring on a fresh Stephen Fletcher or whoever, couldn't you?
Yeah, and when you've got the likes of, obviously normally we'd have that switch of Jack Marriott and Stephen Fletcher, very much like for like, you know, the quality just doesn't really go down at all. If anything, you know, it either stays exactly the same or goes up in some cases. And I think obviously last season that was such a massive quality that we were able to have in games where, you know, we'd get to that sort of 65th, 70th, and, you know, if it was, say, for example, Palmer and Mullin starting together, if you're seeing the likes of Ollie Palmer tire a bit because he's put in that work for those 65, 70 minutes to bring on fresh legs, and Stephen Fletcher, who's got that, you know, just unbelievable quality in holding the ball up, and, you know, those little sort of touches he does when he gets the ball, it's just sort of a different level. Just having that ability to bring them off the bench was such a skill, and something Phil Parkinson and his staff utilised so well this season. And I'm sure, you know, bringing in the likes of Mo Fowl and obviously the new boy in Bodvarsson, he'll be looking to use him a lot in that same aspect, in that same respect. I would imagine till at least January. With obviously we don't know how long Stephen Fletcher's going to be out for. Hopefully not too long. But whilst he's not here, then, you know, you want those guys to sort of have that same impact.
Yeah, it's interesting, Fowl not coming on until so late. As we said, it's the longest Palmer has completed this season. And you know, Andy was saying at the time, you know, is it because you want Palmer defending set pieces? A big team, Huddersfield. But yeah, it's interesting to see that we've made that change. Oh, and the change is going to be made by Charlton up front. Leeburn, who's coming back from injury, but by all accounts played very well on Tuesday, is going to come on. But yeah, it's an intriguing one. I put out a picture of our desks in the press box. It's unusual. I like it but it's an unusual setup where you've got a very long sort of press gallery running perhaps a good chunk, if not all, the length of the stand. It's really very long, and it's like desks in a sort of old-fashioned classroom where you pull the desk over and in front of you. And as a result of that, where is it? Somebody asked me, when did I last take an exam? Thanks, Steve Kunsley. Quite recently, surprisingly. I did night classes for a couple of years in Spanish, so I did do an exam in Spanish.
So it looks like Anderson has gone off.
Ooh.
For Leeburn.
So maybe
a little change. Maybe they're going to go 2 up.
Yeah. Or maybe Nathan Jones just went in the changing room, read that article I read, that clickbait article, and thought, got to get rid of him. Oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. So, you know what? I was thinking of this song, Into the Valley by Skids. Very nice, very good. Well, it's taken quite a long time for this after start. Wrexham came out a lot earlier than Charlton. And now, Brian Anderson replaced by Leeburn, who finally has been confirmed. So another mobile, big striker to cause Wrexham issues. Well, if the second half's as varied and fast-paced as the first half, we could have a bit of fun here. As Charlton get things underway, Wrexham will now be kicking towards their 2,400 fans. Not long, and well, immediately Leeburn just jumps straight into his man and concedes a free kick. Sort of looking like it might settle as a front two with him and Godden. Godden was physical, Leeburn's much bigger. So Concord the free kick as the Wrexham fans crank it up again.
So it looks like they've changed to a back 5.
Oh, yeah.
Which
takes Edwards maybe out of the firing line. Rathbone over the top, 2 straight. Yeah, it looks like...
Maybe not, I don't know.
Well, if they have done that, it looked like it was Edwards who tucked in. But at the moment, Campbell has now gone ahead of him as he was the player outside him. And here he is on the halfway line. Snappy passing until Cleworth intervenes. That's a good ball, Rathbone now. Only has the 2 strikers ahead of him, though. So he has to hold on and wait for the overlap by Barnett, who nearly gets past Edwards. Good foot in by the full-back. Throw level the edge of the area. Quickly taken from Mullin. Heavy first touch, though. And Campbell claims it back, and Edwards launches it long, looking for the new man up front, and Leeburn beats Scar in the air. You don't see that too often. There's no danger because no one was up there with him. But that's an indication of what Leeburn can bring to the party. Palmer now in the air and flicking it on. It hits Gillespie free. He does well as the ball bounces away from him to just square it in to Berry. Big diagonal fed towards Leeburn again, who's isolated Cleworth. Cleworth grabbing hold of him, can't stop him from nodding it down nicely. And Berry, who followed his pass in, lays it out wide. Campbell, first time he's had a chance to really go at Barnett, looks to use his pace, and Barnett does brilliantly. He's put it behind for a corner, mind. He felt he was pulled back, and that's why the ball rolled away from him. There's a little part of me thinks Campbell was put off by the pigeons he ran into. The 4 pigeons sitting there, and he suddenly sprinted into the middle of them.
Yeah, Barnett did really well in the end, but he could have actually put it out for a throw or maybe even kept it in play. I think he just thought it was either going to go his way for the goal kick or he was going to get the foul.
So one man on Okonkwo, in swinging corner from the left-hand side. It's played shorter than the post and flicked back to the edge of the box, and that did look deliberate, but wasn't very well executed. Barnett clears. And the ball back into the Charlton half. Goes all the way to Mannion, the keeper. Long kick again. Leeburn comes across well, and drops kindly. Gordon working it wide. Campbell again, chance to have a go at Barnett. Rathbone's got back quickly, but he's beaten them both. Drills it in, and Okonkwo with an important save with his feet. Driven back in, and Cleworth blocks it. Palmer, great strength, buys the free kick. Edwards is furious. He needs to be careful of his descent. He's been booked. But that was a good stop by Okonkwo, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good save by Okonkwo. Not easy, them sort of ones behind a lot of bodies. But again, Leeburn, who's done really well so far in this second half. I think he already won every single one of his duels. But it's really nice direct play from Campbell as well. And in the end, gets the shot off. And like I say, Okonkwo does really well. Just keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't sort of squirrel under his feet.
Yeah, hit with power. Conco did well to make sure he got a proper contact on it. And now it's a free kick. Long and helped on by McLean. Mullin will chase to try and keep that in. And he does. But unluckily for him, it only teased Charlton up and had a chance to clear. Not long. Golden heads that straight out of play for a throw to Wrexham on the halfway line. It's Dobson feeding it back. All the way in the end to Okonkwo. Cleworth is there. And Cleworth drives over the top. Palmer backing in. Good header over the top of him by Gillespie. Cleworth with a controlled header. Dobson, though, is sold a bit short by it. Cleworth wins it back well. As Doherty just leaves something in on Cleworth. Ref indicates advantage. And quickly Lee helps her over to the left-hand side to McLean. Lee's gone on the overlap. He squares it instead. O'Connor joining in to Rathbone, who can hit this perhaps. Drills it but pulls it well wide. Nearly turned into an assist as Palmer stuck a foot out but couldn't quite reach it.
That's where we want Rathbone for me. Getting those balls on the edge of the box where it's been switched one way, comes back across, big touch, probably a little bit too big for his liking, but he's able to get a shot off. Just drags it wide.
Coventry again driving forwards, helps it on to Doherty as captain. And Charlton go back again to their centre backs. Wrexham's two strikers are up the pitch, not really pressing. Ball fed forwards again. Cleworth reads it well. Rathbone lays it off. Barnett round the corner, but it's intercepted by Berry. And Charlton once more have controlled possession of the ball. Big diagonal driven in by Gillespie. Scar judged it well, heads it away. McLean helps it on, but it's a good interception. And Doherty tries to spread it, tries to hit Lieben on the edge of the box, doesn't find him. Barnett's over the top, something for Palmer to chase. It'll bounce away from him. Nope, throw in to Charlton. Wrexham, just get the ball down a bit more like we did in the early phases of the first half. At the moment, they're going early a bit too soon for me.
Yeah, so Charlton have definitely changed to a 3 at the back. Edwards playing the left-hand side, which means Campbell is the left side wing-back. So it's now just a match-up. Get up against your man and make sure you win that battle.
O'Connor helping it on to McLean on the halfway line. Lee is down the line and receives it. He's drawn Edmonds Green out from the middle. Ball fed in. Heavy touch, but Lee manages to pick her up. O'Connor it was who had the heavy touch. Lee squares it. Rathbone could have another dig here. Takes a touch onto his left foot, puts it in, and that's a good save by the keeper. Shot driven in towards the bottom left corner. Keeper, I think, saw it a bit late as it came through the bodies, got down and pushed it away with a firm right hand. And here's Wrexham again now. Mullin, good first touch, helps it wide. Fed in by McLean. Palmer pinning his man. It falls for Mullin, but he's forced to go wide to retrieve it. Palmer just couldn't take it on. It's a real shoving match between Palmer and Gillespie in the middle as Wrexham have it on the left. And Lee feeds a good ball down the left-hand side. O'Connor round the back of the fence, drills it in, deflection, corner.
Really good play. So Tom O'Connor is the one that's stepping in now with the change of formation. He's the one that's able to go and step in and make the overload down on that left-hand side. And it's a lovely little ball through, round the corner by Elliot Lee into the space, and he just hesitates slightly, takes an extra touch, which then closes up the space, and it's defended for a corner.
The Wrexham fans, like at Rotherham in the second half, they're just singing all the way through. Elliot Lee signals an in-swinger. Sweeps it into the edge 6-yard box. Good header, clear by Godden. It's Dobson. Oh, it's a weak header. Giving it straight to Campbell, who accelerates past Dobson. And Rathbone takes one for the team and we'll get a yellow. Just went across, body checks him. Doesn't bother to wait for the ref, he knows it's a yellow.
It was a big touch though by Campbell. I thought he might just have been able to shepherd it out and ease it out for a throw-in. Campbell does ever so well. That's a big touch, maybe he could have got around it. It's a yellow, but if the one in the first half's not.
Yeah, exactly. Different ref, eh? It's been a gain of 2 refs. As Charlton again building at the back with this terrific building noise of the Wrexham fans behind them. It's fed down the line. Campbell with Barnett tight to him, has to go backwards. Now it's switched to Mitchell, who can work it outside Coventry. Charlton just looking for that avenue out now. Edwards can drive forward from his new left-sided position in the back and feeds between the lines nicely. Doherty carries to the edge of the area, out wide to Lieben. Taking on Cleworth, chips in across to the far post, and it's headed away wide by Berry. Did well to get up and get a contact on it, but it would have been miraculous if he'd been able to actually head it on target.
Well, with Lieben coming on, I think Wrexham's back three have dropped 5 or 10 yards too far. They need to get up and squeeze the pitch, because when the front two are going pressing to press the back three of Charlton, the spaces, the gap between the back three and Mullin and Palmer is huge, and there's so many spaces to play the ball into. They've got to squeeze up. The two boys up front for Charlton, Lieben and Godden, they're not quick, so they're not going to run in behind you. They're not going to outpace you, so you've got to really squeeze the pitch.
Poor ball forwards by Wrexham, and O'Connor will now have to tidy it up, and he mishits his volleyed clearance. Well held up by Godden, who can turn and hit a long ranger just off target, maybe a little more off target than it looked to me actually, but nonetheless good work by Godden after a little sloppy moment by O'Connor. Yeah, going back to Lieben as well, you don't want to defend too deep against the guy who's that good in the air, because you might have what happened when they equalised. If you're going to be beaten in the air by the guy, let it be 30 yards out. They haven't got a quick man to run onto it, rather than 6 yards out, and he scores. Goal kick, 2 Charlton players go up for it. Gillespie heads it clear. McLean knocks it forwards, and it's a comfortable clearance of Mitchell. Dobson wins the header. It's all scrappy stuff in here, as it's laid off to Edwards. Pings it to the feet of Lieben. His touch is heavy. He's looking for Coventry, but he does find Doherty. And now Charlton, who are moving the ball around in midfield with more confidence, stand her up into the box. Cleworth gets up between the two strikers though and wins the header. And Barnett hits a long ball forwards, the outside of his foot, and hits Mullin. There's a break on here if Lee can get the pass right. He's found McLean. McLean has Edmonds Green isolated, feeds it to Mullin, who's shown off the edge of the box. Back to McLean. Mullin now is facing goal. Rolls it to the feet of Palmer, who tries to lay it off. He's unlucky. He was intercepted. He was looking for Elliot Lee in a shooting position. And now it's Lieben trying to help it on. But calm work by Scar, who holds off Berry's challenge. 57th minute, still 1-1 here at the Valley. McLean holding it up 30 yards out. Lee takes over. Rathbone screaming for it and finds him. Rathbone's got Barnett outside him. Barnett now, chance to run at Campbell. So how good is Campbell at defending? Barnett on his left foot, cuts back on his right, then his left again. He's got a great run inside by Cleworth. He finds Rathbone, who surges beyond Doherty. Sweeps in across though, which picks out a defender at the near post. Cleared. Dobson beaten to it in the air by Berry. Lieben, right idea, looking for the return pass, but doesn't get it right. And Wrexham now having a good little spell of pressure as Dobson between the lines turns nicely, finds Lee 35 yards out, pokes it into Palmer. Palmer, nice deft first touch out wide to McLean. McLean taking on Edmonds Green, hits the goal line, swings to the far post. Barnett, well, the crowd shouting for a penalty, and the manager. Barnett's shirt was halfway up his back and he couldn't get off the ground. Having said that, well, he threw his hands up just then, but he didn't argue at the time, did he? Maybe he had to chase Campbell back first.
Yeah, I think he had some hands on Campbell as well, just from the first look at it. I think it would have been a bit of a controversial one to give, but again, just really nice build-up play from Wrexham. Some really nice little bit of interplay between James McLean, Elliot Lee. Like you said, Andy, Elliot Lee and Ollie Rathbone just getting on that ball a bit more, and it's been really effective so far, just trying to get that final bit right going forward now.
Gillespie knocks it too long. Goal kick to Wrexham. But yeah, that's how we need to be playing, isn't it? Getting in their half, moving it around with confidence, getting the crosses in. See if their centre-backs can deal with them.
Yeah, we've played it into Palmer, who's pinning the centre-half a couple of times now in this second half. Now we need to get right. Well, that's the pass on. That second one, the runner off the front of him, who he can just set for a shot. That's where we need the third man running, really.
Getting bodies up among Palmer to give him options because he's enjoying himself out there. You can see the way he's pinning him. Lee does well to get the ball out wide, and Wrexham continue to press. McLean cuts in, Lee's outside him. He finds Lee, level the edge of the area. Now McLean's gone outside him. Lee pulls it back. Dobson, 25 yards out, swiftly out to McLean. McLean again taking on Edmonds Green, again gets the cross in, and back to goal. It's laid off and just doesn't quite carry to Rathbone. It was a little flick by Mullin. Rathbone was about 8 yards out. It would be a big Van Barnes it was. It was a hell of a chance of it to carry to him. Great work by O'Connor, who picks Lieburn's pocket. Works out wide to the right-hand side. Barnett's only got Palmer up with him. O'Connor is getting into the box too. Barnett takes on his man, rips a great ball in, and Palmer can't quite get it on target because a defender touched tight on him. Deflects it behind for a corner. Good work that by Wrexham.
Yeah, really good play from Tom O'Connor. Reads the Charlton plan really well and gets in front of his man, and he has to in that situation as well because Gordon's in behind him if he does miss that opportunity. And then going forward, Wrexham again put a nice ball into the box. Ollie Palmer just can't quite get enough on it to make it his.
So corner, O'Connor's on it. 60th minute in front of this packed Wrexham crowds. Well, the referee's going to intervene again. Scar at the far post, shoving around with his markers. So the referee intervenes. There's a short option being offered now. Barnes has come across. That's dragged Campbell across, which leaves Rathbone in acres of space in the D. Barnett signals again. Rips it beyond the far post. Keeper comes, can't get there. And it's headed down and behind. And any sort of decent, firm contact on that, the goal was gaping.
Mullin's just talking to Cleworth there. Maybe just gets in his way, I don't know.
It's put into that nice area that we like. Oh, Cleworth, yeah, he's just got up over his man, can't quite make contact. So the keeper didn't get there. And like I say, he's in the eye line of Mullin, wasn't he? As Gillespie squares it on the edge of his area. Wrexham commits a few players forward to press, but Charlton have got through that press well. Doherty now feeding it up to halfway, and Charlton have got two more subs ready to come on as they work the ball wide to Campbell. Campbell cutting inside Barnett. Might try a shot, he does, and it's way off target. In fact, for a second I thought he'd put it in the top tier, and it's not a small stand. But yeah, he cuts inside, but he's a hell of a long way out as well to try that. It wasn't the percentage option. Now here are the changes. So Terry Taylor, the young Welsh midfielder, is going to come on for Greg Doherty, the skipper. And the other sub is Alan Campbell. And he's coming on for Berry. So a total refresh in midfield. Taylor comes straight into the middle alongside Coventry. And Alan Campbell looks like he's going to play off the strikers. Doesn't look to be a change of shapes. Look pretty much straight swaps really, but fresh legs for Charlton. 28 minutes left. Okonkwo with the goal kick. Launches it towards Palmer. Gets up well, but heads it in the wrong direction. Dobson heads it forwards again. Rathbone helps it on, and flicked on by Barnett again. Mullin just running off the last defender, hoping it comes through. Lee can't quite get that. And then Rathbone catches his man. The ref plays a good advantage as the ball's worked wide, and now it's a chance for Tyrese Campbell. Well, decides not to run at Barnett. Cross comes in from Coventry again. Scar, solid. Shot driven in from distance by Taylor. Hits Gordon and ricochets well off target. Nearly hit the Pigeons, who are now in Okonkwo's penalty area. Quite enjoying those Pigeons. I feel they got a part to play.
They've just got to make sure that when the ball, because Lieburn is on, they can't just let people put it into the box without any pressure on. Eventually, a little bit of quality is going to find him. He's pulling off to the back post. They just didn't get it quite right then, but got to get some pressure on that ball when the ball's out wide.
Yeah, the importance of Wrexham's wing backs is different, but still as crucial. They can't allow crosses to be coming in from half the pitch as Rathbone knocks one for Mullen to chase. Gillespie gets it away. Palmer pops it back where it came, corner of the box. Gillespie gets it well to get it clear again. Again, a good header by Dobson. Too strong that time for Alan Campbell, but Mullen tries a cute little back heel flick and puts it off the pitch. Throw in then. Edwards to take level the edge of his box. Thrown towards the halfway line. Lieben beats Cleworth in the air. O'Connor is there. Scoops past him. McLean won't really help. Thank him for. And so he launches it long. Mind you, Lee is chasing after this. Headed away in the end by Mitchell. And brought down by Coventry, who immediately lifts it over the top to turn Scar. But it goes through to Conquo. Conquo didn't like that Lieburn just stuck an arm out and pulled at his arm for a second. But it's no big deal as Scar now goes long, looking in the air for Palmer. He gets it well, nods it inside. Mullen now pinning his man, trying to draw the foul. He goes down and gets the foul, 30 yards out. And he's angry. Feels he should be getting more of those.
Again, really good link-up play though from Mullen and Palmer. Palmer just has a little look, sees where Mullen is, aims his header towards him. Really nice play. And Mullen does really well this time to make sure he goes down, and he's already sort of almost made that pass, so you can kind of see why the foul has to be given. Really good striker play from both.
O'Connor on the free kick then. Charlton holding line on the edge of the area. It's got Dobson on it as well. Just a one-man wall. You can see why the official who took over as ref wanted the spray. He's made a cute little semicircle with it. O'Connor stands it in. Keeper starts to come but can't. Scar gets up and wins a corner. No goal kick given. Well, to the astonishment of anyone of a Wrexham persuasion. And indeed, McLean picks up a cheap yellow card protesting. It did look like a corner, it's got to be said. Maybe the other angle from the other side on the replay might show us something different. Don't think so, no. Wrexham Scar got up well on the back of his man, but it didn't look like he made contact on it. McLean picks up a rather unnecessary yellow then. Charlton building from the back. Just over 24 minutes left. This fascinating game. Driven long, but inaccurately by Mitchell. Heavy touch by O'Connor though. He's robbed by Alan Campbell. Played down the line. Liebent does really well to dig out a back heel for Campbell. And he cuts inside O'Connor. Scar, great work. He tried to feed in Lieben in the box. Scar to get that right, and he judged it perfectly. Throw to Charlton. Taken quickly. The ball's back with Taylor. Dobson gets a challenge in though. Charlton pick it up on the right hand side. Switch, little pocket of space on the left of midfield. Coventry drives into it. Works it wide. Campbell squaring it, having drawn Rathbone across. Coventry, little 1-2 on the edge of the D. But Wrexham again are keeping it tight around the edge of the area. Campbell has got Barnett isolated, chips it into the far post. Easy header clear. It'll come out, the chance to shoot. What a good tackle that is. It was an opportunity for Taylor. Had a great challenge on him to knock it clear. Now Mullen tracking back, can't win it, and Lieben turns Scar. Clumsy challenge by Scar, who will be booked for that. He wasn't quite the last defender, but Lieben turned him beautifully, and Scar took his leg.
Well, I have to say, the biggest compliment I can give to Lieben is I'm very glad he didn't start. He's causing our defenders quite a few problems down there in this second half. Just a bit of a different challenge for them, having only faced Godden really between them in that first half. Now having the pair of them. But yeah, he's been really bright, not only winning them challenges, but just that little bit of ball control just in there, just taking it away from Scar, and Scar in the end has to make that challenge, and a dangerous little set piece here for Charlton.
Mirror image of the free kick. Mullen put well over the bar, same end, right hand side of the D, and this is a real threat. Wrexham have 4 in the wall. Remember, at Rotherham, Okonkwo overcommitted and had to make a good save at the goalie's side. Will he creep behind the wall again? Taylor is the right-footed option, and he hits it over the wall, tipped over well. Well, Okonkwo didn't commit that time. It went down the middle, too high and fast to grab hold of, but he tipped it over for the corner. Good early intervention by the sub. And the Charlton fans now making some noise. Corner left-hand side will be an in-swinger. Lots of movement around Okonkwo. Swept to the far post. Good header by Palmer. Great header by Palmer. Dobson, if he can keep this in, there's a break here. He knocks down the line. 2-on-2. Barnett is on the left-hand side. Mullin is beyond the last defender on the right. Barnett is going to have to take on his man. Stubbs in across. Intercepted easily by Coventry. Andy Cannon ready to come on. The ball's cleared. Nice little stooping header. And here is McLean. Delivers early and hits the first defender in the 6-yard box, Mitchell. It's hooked the forwards further towards Leeburn. Scar goes to ground and just about ushers him off the pitch for a second. I thought he got past him.
Yeah, it's just turned up a notch, hasn't it, the last couple of minutes. Bit of intensity. Great break by Wrexham. Dobson does great to play Barnett in. Barnett just takes his pass early across, but good defending by the Charlton centre-half.
Rathbone off, Cannon on. Straight swap. I think quite rightly Rathbone gets a pat on the head from Parkinson. He's, as always, put in an excellent shift, and he's grown into the game more in the second half. And Cannon, with his sparky presence, provide a breakthrough. Throw in taken. Another throw to Wrexham about 10 yards further forwards, but clean in the Charlton half. Left-hand side, throws it in nicely. Palmer turns onto the ball, nicks it past one man. Can he hit it? No. Just didn't quite sit up for him. Defender got a toe in and knocked it off balance a bit. Now he's Dobson squaring it. Cannon, his first touch, quickly out to Barnett. Barnett now taking on Campbell, cuts inside, then back on his right foot. Campbell sticking to him. Barnett's got into a shooting position, hits the shot, it's blocked. And now Alan Campbell chipping it for Leeburn. Intelligent movement by Leeburn, trying to go out wide for him, but he can't keep it in. Throw on the halfway line. Taken quickly. The pace is upping even more. McLean inside. Here's Dobson driving forwards. Cannon's made a great run and Dobson's found him in the box. Squares it. Mullin, great tackle. Cannon! Scores! Great work, Cannon. Within a minute of coming on, puts the ball through the keeper's legs from close range. The Wrexham fans are going insane behind that goal, but it was a great movement. Lovely ball by Dobson. Great defending to deny Mullin a finish, but Campbell followed it in, 6 yards out. Cool finish through the keeper. Kieran Durkin tribute finish, and Wrexham take the lead.
Well, it just opens up for him. Dobson steps in, and for some reason the left side centre half, Edwards, he stays inside with Mullin. Mullin just stays in position, so Edwards comes in, and it's just an acre of space for Cannon to get the ball rolled into his path. He pulls it back. Mullin with the finish, but a great bit of block by the defender, and then Cannon's just to follow it in, and whether he scuffs it, I don't care. It's gone straight between the legs and into the back of the net.
Well, that's exactly what you want from your substitute. You know, come on, look bright. Instant impact, really, from Andy Cannon. Brilliant response from Wrexham.
Wow. The Wrexham, in this massive away game, take that lead. 18 minutes left. Scar gets up and heads it partly clear. Not much distance on that. Nodded back down by Alan Campbell. Godden feeds Leeburn, who holds it up, and eventually he's crowded out, although McLean's poor touch causes a problem, and Okonkwo's very quick off his line to grab it. And now he's going to do another Joss AB favourite, lying on the ball for as long as possible to chew up time. Even standing on him, which I always think means the ref's less likely to penalise him for time wasting, or he does signal actually to say that to Okonkwo to hurry up. Hits it long. Palmer wrestles his way past Edwards and then wins another header. Mullin will be not quite able to get there, but to be fair, the front two have asked a lot of questions, haven't they, of Charlton?
Yeah, well, the least they do for this season, we've seen it, is just work, and any ball that's played forward, can you make something happen, whether it's just uncomfortable for the defenders or whether it's just pressure on the ball.
Alan Campbell playing it down the line, but it's a good challenge by Scar to put it out of play. The Wrexham fans haven't stopped since half-time and they're loving this. On the halfway line, Taylor. Square to Coventry. Now it's at the back for Charlton. Wrexham just keeping that mid-block that they feel comfortable with. It's Tyrese Campbell feeding it in, but Cannon was quick to cut off the angle for the return pass. Ball fed in between the lines. Campbell, Alan Campbell that is, given time to turn. But the crowd are unhappy when he doesn't look for the forwards pass. Coventry moving it on again. And down the left-hand side, it's Edwards feeding it in. Nice little bit of movement for him by Coventry. And now Tyrese Campbell cuts inside well. Can't get his angle for the shot. He works it to Alan Campbell. It's all in the D, this. Very crowded. Tyrese Campbell sensibly brings it back out to Coventry, who comes back in again and gives it away. Dobson gets a foot in. Does a Zidane turn that dumps Coventry on the floor. And he's enjoying that. And then he overhits his pass. You could just see he was just thinking, what more can I do to look great in front of the fans who are now booing me?
But that's bodies right in the middle of the goal. Wrexham, anybody got a ball, somebody's going to put pressure on it.
On the left-hand side, Taylor squares it. Tyrese Campbell is beaten. Good lunge by Cleworth. Cannon feeds it forwards. Palmer, good strength, draws the foul. Ref doesn't give it, so Palmer gets up, fair play to him, and holds on to it again. In the end, he's lost it. Complains that Mullen didn't give him an angle. And now Taylor, 35 yards out. He's been prominent since he came on. Squares it. Coventry stands it up. Lieben's jumping for it, but can only head it behind for a goal kick. Just arrived too high. Did well to get to it, really.
I really don't know why Charlton have changed their formation. I think it's gone completely against them. Yes, Lieben has made a bit of a difference because they're able to play off him, but they could have just put him on and played the 2-2-2 box midfield behind them and played slightly differently with your fullbacks getting the crosses in. I just think it's played into their Wrexham's hands. The three in midfield have got a hold of the game now. R3, I think Dobson's really come to the fore in this second half. Cannon coming on to give him fresh legs, and we've seen in the second half Rathbone couple of shots, Elliot Lee more on the ball. So I don't know why they changed their formation.
He's Palmer now. Ball gets stuck between his feet and then he goes past his man and his body checked by Gillespie. I mean, bearing in mind, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a dive, but the ref's given it, and so why isn't he booking Gillespie? He was the guy who got away with the one in the first half. Admittedly, different ref, maybe he's forgotten, but he hasn't booked him.
It's good feet by Palmer, and yeah, it's a 6.7. I think I'd give him.
Yeah, there was a reason why the linesman didn't wait for it. I don't think he thought it was.
Yeah, he was in the air before contact, wasn't he? I think, but the ref fell for it. It's going to be O'Connor to take this then, about 30 yards out on the right flank. Again, Charlton looking to hold that line on the edge of the box. They've got Lieben's height back there as well. It's swept in towards him. He can only head it partly away. Palmer trying to make it bounce, tries to hook a shot, which drifts gently over the bar. It was audacious, thinking it's going to bounce and he's going to actually bring it under control, and he kind of did, to be fair. He has been so good as he just ducks his head looking tired and makes another run back. This is the territory where he'll usually come off in a game, but goodness me, Palmer's been impressive. As of the Wrexham fans again, who are making the only noise on the ground. Wrexham pressuring the ball. The ball's dinged forwards well to Taylor down the left, but McLean has got that energy and he does so well to get round his man and knock it off him for the throw. There's been activity on the Wrexham bench, which we can't actually see that well because the wall in front of us blocks it off, but at the moment they seem to have calmed down a little bit. Revan is warming up, but that's it. Wrexham knock over the top, that's too strong. Straight through to Mannion. Charlton building again. They've got another sub ready to come on. Ball fed forwards, Lieben. Good foot in again by Cleworth. Dobson into the feet of Palmer, who holds it up nicely. Back to Cannon. Cannon go backwards. Charlton having to chase shadows. Dobson pings a great ball to Mullen, who pops it inside on Barnett now. Driving through the middle. No one's kept up with him. Edge of the D. Mullen's out wide. He tries the shot, puts it over. Mullen's furious because he was in space on the right. You can understand Barnett's temptation to hit it though, can't you?
No, you've got to. I think Mullen's just shouting at him, just couldn't quite get it out from the turn. It's just underneath his feet a little bit, so he's got to dig it out, and it goes up and over the bar. But really good play. Little keep the ball, Dobson into the channel, and then Barnett off the front of Mullin, and he's driving into the space. Yeah, unfortunately it goes over the bar. I think he's well within his rights to have a shot from there.
Charlton again, building up from deep. Fed over the top, and that's O'Connor's ball. Volleys it back down the line. Lee takes it well on his chest, holding her up in his own half. Oh, it's a lovely little clipped ball between two Charlton players, and Dobson keeps it moving quickly. For once, Barnes hasn't kept up with the break. Cannon is communicating with him. Lays her off to him, and Wrexham slow it down. Cleworth being told by Dobson, get it back to Scar. Let's shift it around. Wrexham horseshoeing it. Elliot Lee telling O'Connor, come as far as you can with it. He clips it in to Lee. Gillespie gets touched right. Lee pops it off nicely to Palmer, who turns, finds Mullin up against the last defender. He barges him down. Wow, what a tackle that was by Gillespie. It's only cleared as far as McLean. He squares this. Palmer runs into a crowd and is dispossessed. Mullin span his man. Gillespie was on the floor. Mullin was all in his own box. And somehow Gillespie stuck out a foot and was able to tackle him.
Yeah, really good defending in the end. I think just off that second bit of tackle, Paul Mullin just looks like he stops, and maybe if he didn't, he might have got to that ball for the second opportunity.
Here's McLean lofting to the far post. Barnett can't get to that. Cannon told by the fans to shoot, but he's got a defender right in his face. Lays it back. Dobson again swiftly changing the direction of play. McLean plays the early cross. Diving header clear by Mitchell. But just like Wrexham responded well to Charlton's equaliser, we responded well to scoring. Although having said that, Lee has given it away sloppily. Leeburn chasing after this, knocks it past Scar. Scar blocks his path, but Leeburn just runs onto his back, and although the home fans are furious, that's good defended by Scar, especially for a defender with not much pace who's on a yellow card.
Yeah, he uses his body really well, gets that first arm across. Leeburn goes down, his touch is big. But Wrexham are just on top at the moment. The goal's given them a big lift, and they're able to just keep the ball. They're being really patient. McLean's had 7 or 8 crosses this half already, which is a lot more than he's had in many games. Yeah. You know, the past 2 or 3 weeks, it's normally down Miss Barnett's wing.
Yeah, I just think on them James McLean crosses, just the last few now I've spotted, he's just hit that first man every time. Just try and, you know, either we need to get Paul Mullin running in that near post, or just try and overhit it a bit more to that back post area where we seem to have a bit of an overload.
Danny Hilton has come on for Connor Coventry, and Gordon's dropped into a deeper position. But I'm slightly surprised Coventry's come off. They've brought all 3 of their midfielders off now. Throw in taken and a bit of a ricochet, but in the end Charlton clear it. Gordon has done well to turn on to that and help it on, and now here is Hilton. Barnett trying to avoid fouling him as Hilton holds her up in the middle of the pitch. Tyrese Campbell on the right now, poking it to the feet of Lieben, who pops it back into midfield. Edmonds Green stands up the diagonal looking for Hilton. Cleworth beats him in the air. Barnett thrashes a clearance. Gillespie gets a foot in. Cannon though putting pressure on Alan Campbell. The ball goes back to the keeper. Looks like a back 4 again. Edwards very high at the pitch, the left back, as Cleworth is beaten in the air by Hilton. Nice layoff by Edwards, and now there's danger here as the ball's driven in, and it'll deflect for a corner. Good scurrying run into the box by Gordon. It's a corner left hand side. Taylor across to take. Wrexham bringing everybody back. 8 minutes plus added time to play. So it'll be an in-swinger. Mullin marking Alan Campbell on the edge of the box. Ball is swung again beyond the far post. Volley towards goal. Safe hands by Okonkwo. And I think it tells you something about the amount of hard running Mullin's put in, that he doesn't sprint and ask Okonkwo to launch it over the top. Okonkwo's always liable to hold on to it though, isn't he? Let's be honest in this situation. Yeah,
that was good technique though, wasn't it, at the back post. He's able to just get his body round, hook it goal bound. Just, I think, a bit of a deflection, Tom O'Connor, that just took the pace of it straight to Arthur.
I think that should have been a foul to Palmer then. He turned his man really well as the ball's fed down the channel, and Hilton now has got Scar to beat. Wrexham defence starting to come back. Hilton goes wide, holds it up. Tyrese Campbell now again trying to wind up a run from deep on the right, gets a good return ball from Alan Campbell, and now he's got a chance to run at McLean, delivers a left-footed cross and it's just wide. Hilton flicking it on, Lieburn poked it wide from 6 yards out at full stretch. He wants a penalty, he's chasing the ref and he's going to get booked for it. Well, he was a good
gesturing.
Long distance gesture, wasn't it?
30 centimetres away from the ref, I think.
Yeah.
To be fair, Max has got the wrong side of Lieburn. He's just a little grab, a little tug maybe. Very harsh to be given.
So Wrexham survive a scrape as Okonkwo knocks it long. And it will bounce out of play. Wrexham have got Mo Farl and Sev Revan to come on. Edwards, in his rush to run down the line and take the throw in, doesn't notice that Phil Parkinson's got his arm outstretched and gets a slap on his forehead for his trouble. It's going to be Ryan Barnett who comes off. And I mean, to be fair to Barnett, he's put a lot of running in the last week, hasn't he? And Mullin will get a break off. He's certainly done a lot of running. 2 full 90s. And he comes off. Oh, hang on. There seems to be some disagreements. Is it Mullin coming off? I think they've shown the wrong number. And now the fourth official is showing it to Parkinson and saying it says 10. Mullin, Parkinson and the fourth official are in conversation. And Ollie Palmer,
he's gone down now.
Yep, he's gone away from the ball far as he can, over the side of the pitch, and is now sitting on his backside wasting time, we hope.
So I think they've put the wrong number on the sheet. That was the fourth official saying, well, you've put 10 on here. But then Mullin's like, me? Surely not me? How dare you? And it is, I think it's going to be Palmer. That would be the obvious one, wouldn't it, Mo Farl?
You would think, wouldn't you? Yeah, absolutely. As Palmer is now up and trotting off the pitch, Farl will replace him. So Wrexham with 4 minutes plus added time. I mean, this ref's got previous. He's added 10 minutes on the first half. You never know how long he'll add. There still seems to be a little bit of confusion of Palmer chatting to Parkinson, but anyway, yeah, Farl up front does seem to make more sense. Throw down the line, headed clear by Cleworth. Farl wrestling, creates a loose ball which Lee runs onto, controls well with his body. Good vision to work it wide for McLean. He's got Tyrese Campbell herring after him though, and so he checks out and protects possession rather than taking a chance with it. Lee plays it forwards. Mullin wants to throw, gets the throw as he backs into his man.
So you're right, Mark, they've changed formation again. Back to a back four that they were to start with. They've sort of put Godden, I think it's a 4-4-2 really. Godden playing this sort of left-hand side. He's going to have to look after Revan, but he's going to have to then get forward and get in contact with his strikers.
Throw-in taken, it's crowded. Farl is battling away, doesn't get a decision in the end. Throw to Charlton in their own half. You just think if we can get Revan into play. Godden on this side, the pitch is wanting to push up. Edwards surely will as well. Attack-minded fullback. Can Wrexham exploit that? Throw-in taken down the line by Charlton. Partly headed clear by O'Connor. Now Scar's got some defending to do by his corner flag. He launches it into the crowd. Throw to Charlton. 20 yards out. We're into the last 3 minutes of the 90. Throw-in is left for Edwards, who we saw in the first half has got a decent long throw. So Wrexham sending everyone back. Mullin's about 25 yards out from his own goal. Ball is slung into the near post. Well, one Scar really made that his. Tyrese Campbell has lost it. 2-on-1 break now. Cannon through the middle. Mullin's ahead of him. Can Cannon time that pass right? He keeps going. He's got support with Revan now, who cuts into the box onto his left foot. Squares it. Cannon to Lee on the right side of the box. He chips it in and headed away by Mitchell. And Wrexham needs to be more decisive. Well, that's a great brave header by Dobson. And he wins a free kick 30 yards out. The Wrexham can take the time over. Wasted opportunity, that though.
Yeah, definitely. I think Andy Cannon's going mad at Elliot Lee or Seb Revan for not giving it him a bit earlier, but I think Andy Cannon's got to give it Paul Mullin on the initial one to begin with. Paul Mullin's just trying to delay, making sure he doesn't get offside, and in the end, Andy Cannon goes the other way and ignores him completely.
Free kick. O'Connor rolls it square to Dobson. Out wide now to Revan. And he is just teasing Alan Campbell before delivering left-footed towards Farl. Powerful header clear. Leeburn completes the clearance. Cleworth on the halfway line brings it down, and there's Gordon left foot on him there. Studs up, caught him. It's one of those where you go through, the follow-through hits the studs, isn't it?
Yep.
And it'll be a yellow, not a red.
It's Hilton, I think.
Oh, beg your pardon. Yeah, Hilton.
Yeah, but they're the ones, they're just naughty, especially Max coming back from injury. He's just a little bit quicker. His touch flicks it by a bit of time as well.
Well, there is a yellow that's out for Hilton, who's not happy. I don't see how he can complain about that, to be honest. He clearly made contact, apologised. That's a bit of a giveaway, isn't it, really? But anyway, it's another yellow. 2 for Charlton now, 3 for Wrexham, Rathbone, Scar and McLean. Cleworth is limping, but he's going to take the free kick, which to suggest he doesn't think it was too serious. And he hits a diagonal, looking for Farl on the corner of the box, gets it well, nods it down, and it goes behind for the goal kick.
I just think we could have kept the ball for a bit, couldn't we?
Yeah,
we just chipped it to the back post for Mo Farl, whereas we could have just made a few passes, taken another maybe 30 seconds off this clock.
Sort of thought the same with Revan chipping that cross in. You could have just gone to the corner flag and taken a bit off. 5 added minutes. Revan, beg your pardon, knocks it long. Mullen loses it and fights and wins it back. Now here's Cannon, wins the throw on the halfway line. That injection of fresh legs in Cannon has had exactly the effect Parkinson wants, notwithstanding the fact he scored. So now it's Cleworth taking his time. Dobson saying, put it back into your own half. Cleworth goes long, second hole. Farl gets there first, can't quite keep the ball. Wrexham pressing hard. Dobson, good foot in again. Farl sorts his feet out well. It's all very adjacent. Cannon scoops a lovely ball over the top. Now left hand side, right hand side. 3 bodies in the box to aim for. He could go to the corner flag, but he crosses, hits him last, but he'll keep it in. Cannon's there in support. Makes a good run, Cannon. Revan uses him as a decoy, but it doesn't get him past Mitchell, who's pulled out from the centre. He needs a neat little ball down the line then, but Cannon isn't strong enough to hold on to it. And it's picked up by Mannion, who rolls it out. Edmonds Green. Still McLean going, stepping up to press and then getting back into position as the long ball is played. Cleworth gets up between the 2 big strikers and clears it. Lieben asks Hilton why he didn't challenge. Dobson heads it out of play, throwing the halfway line. He wanted a free kick. Wrexham just needs a focus. Dig deep. Big diagonal play to the edge of the area. O'Connor repels it easily. Lee helps it away. He'll come back in again. On the halfway line, Edwards Green knocks it forwards. Leeman helps it down well, but it bounces away from Hilton. And Okonkwo has been conspicuously quick off his line in this game, hoovering up the bits and pieces. He does so again.
I'm just looking though that Scar had 2 players. Tom O'Connor just slightly out of position when that diagonal ball comes in. If it had gone the other side of Scar, then I felt Godden was just waiting. Thankfully Arthur's sharp out off his line.
Farl gets it well to flick the ball on, but Charlton clears, smashed back over the top by Scar. Tricky one for Mullen to bring down. Oh, and he so nearly manages to do it. He then lunges in with a good tackle on Gillespie, and it bounces. Oh, the ref said, linesman has said it's gone out. Looked like it was spinning down the line. Throw in taken quickly, as you'd imagine, and Charlton have got a few players up the pitch here. If Hilton can tame it, Cleworth did well to stick to him, and Dobson wins it from him. It goes out of play. Throw to Wrexham. Lieben tried to keep it in, and he needs to watch his mouth now. He looks disappointed at the ref, but decides that's the only dissent he'll show. I beg your pardon, Charlton have 3 yellows, don't they? Hilton I missed out last time. There's Cleworth drives the ball carefully. before throwing it down the line. We've had 3 of the 5 added minutes now. Fal wins another throw on the halfway line. The referee warns Gillespie for speaking out of turn. So Cleworth again. Fal being wrestled around. Gets up well, gets a good contact. Mullins clearly fouled. I mean, how is that not a foul? Eventually, the linesman gives it when Mitchell clotheslines him, essentially.
He was just stopping him running towards the ball. And so you can't forearm smash the centre forward.
Mitchell, I think his head's gone a bit. I think he's slightly rattled. He was having a word with the ref before the throw came in. I think having a few words about Paul Mullin, and then just gets caught out, absolutely takes him out, like you say. And then has a bit to say to the away fans, who respond in very good voice, as per usual.
Cannon fakes to play it short. Eventually does give it to Revan. Cannon and Revan in a real scramble of legs. Mullin lunging to try and block the clearance. Did Leeburn foul this man? Well, he certainly backed into him deliberately, but Tyrese Campbell accelerates away from the melee. And wow, Revan has taken him out. It's a yellow. And it was the sort of lunging chop from behind that you could think about a red for that, can you?
Yeah,
it wasn't subtle.
That is not pretty. They do really well, and he's off and running, isn't he, Campbell?
Yeah.
He's nowhere near the ball, and it's... Oh.
Well.
Yeah, I wouldn't have many arguments against it if he pulled out that red card. Yeah. I don't think... he's obviously got that man in behind him, in Max Cleworth, I think it was, but yeah, he doesn't get very close to the ball there, Seb Revan.
Well, we've had the 5 minutes of added time now, so you would think this is it. As Taylor sweeps it into the far post, nodded towards goal, blocked, big shout for handball, and it's deflected wide, and the ref's giving a penalty. Controversial. The ball was driven in. The ref says it hit a hand, and Charlton will have a chance from the spot to rescue a point out of this game.
Well, his arm's down by his side, but did he just raise a shoulder? Is it Tom O'Connor? Well, Mitchell is right in the faces of the players, right in front of all the... He's gone up to O'Connor. And right in his face.
McLean got a shove in the chest from Mitchell as well. But the penalty's given. There's still argy-bargy on the edge of the area. Cannon trying to knock the ball out of the hand of the penalty taker, Gordon. But here we go. 97th minute. And Gordon with the penalty. He's back at the end of his run. Okonkwo bouncing up and down, trying to put him off. And Gordon drills it into the roof of the net, and Charlton rescue a point for themselves in a dramatic match. I've got to say, real frustration for Wrexham, because I thought we looked pretty comfortable in the closing stages, seeing it off, but ultimately Seb Revan is punished for that wild hack that he made on Tyrese Campbell.
Well, what a penalty as well when you're up against it. 95 minutes gone on the clock. He's absolutely drilled it straight into the roof of the net to make it 2-2. It's unfortunate Tom O'Connor is in the way of it. It just looks like he's lifted his right hand up to just get in the way of the ball, which would be handball. And like you said, Mark, they were so comfortable, in like Charlton, I thought had pretty much ran out of ideas. But one long ball into the box.
As there it is, straight from the kick-off, the final whistle. The ref added 5 minutes on, but Charlton managed to find redemption in the 7th minute of added time. A calm finish by Gordon, drilling it into the roof of the net, and the Wrexham fans, who were unbelievable, kept going for the whole match. Are denied a memorable away win by Tom O'Connor's handball in the box after Seb Revan chopped Tyrese Campbell to concede a free kick which led to the penalty. Wrexham took the lead twice. That's a real frustration, of course, for us. The first one, heaven knows who scored it. Connor Coventry has been given it. A free kick, a wicked free kick from O'Connor. Seems to take a nick off the defender, hit the keeper and went in. They equalised. Charlton came back well from that, but Wrexham regained control and regained the lead in the second half, kicking towards those fans. Andy Cannon, a minute after coming on, slotting the ball through the keeper's legs, and despite the disappointment of that goal, the Wrexham fans are still making a terrific noise, thanking their players for their efforts. That was it is 2 drop points because we looked to have it under control at the end, but again, a better away performance that we were seeing at the start of the season.
Yeah, a really frustrating one. I think it's one of those where obviously Charlton come away from it feeling like they've got all three, and Wrexham come away feeling like they've got nothing. And it's because it's exactly like you say, Mark. I think you look at those last 20 minutes of the game, last 10, last 5. Charlton didn't cause us any issues, and I think it's just off that set piece you can look at Revan and maybe ask the question: does he have to make that foul? We've got men back. It's one of those, you sort of take one for the team. You think late on, you sort of back yourself in those situations from that far out, from a set piece, and obviously it's just unlucky. I think it was Max's hand in the end. It might have hit, or Tom O'Connor's, one of the ones with blue boots, I'm sure. But a really frustrating one. But they can be very happy with that performance away from home. You look at that last 3 games now, 5 points. You look back at that, you would have said that at the start before taking on those 3 games and been very happy with it. Obviously coming away from it now with that context, it's a bit of a different story, but again, they've really put a really good account out for themselves, and on to the next one now, FA Cup next weekend, but frustrating, and I know a lot of them away fans will be very frustrated going back on the buses, back in the cars on a long trip back home to Wrexham, but yet again, they were exceptional, the away fans, singing all the way through, and that's football.
Well, Charlton had this feeling on Tuesday night where they got let in a late equaliser, and then they've flipped it on its head and managed to get back in the game. I thought Wrexham were really good value in the second half. I thought they were much the better team. I think the change of formation by Charlton really helped Wrexham take a foothold in the game, and they got the goal, went ahead and looked really comfortable. And unfortunately, it's one long ball into the box. We said if you put more and more balls into the box, one's going to fall. And I think you were right, Mia. I think it was Max who's just had his hands down by his side, and it's just jumped up and he's just pushed it with his arm, and then a really good penalty to boot. So maybe Wrexham just shaded it. Maybe a draw was fair. Maybe Wrexham could have just nipped it. But again, it's 5 points out of 9 in this really tough week. And then you look ahead to another really 2 tough games in Mansfield and Stockport.
Bravura performance by Palmer up front, I thought, as well. He really gave the centre-backs no moment to rest. I really enjoyed him.
Yeah, absolutely. You could argue maybe on that final set piece, was it him we missed to not win that initial header from a defensive point of view? But yeah, I thought he was really impressive today again, and him and Mullin looking week in week stronger again, and back to their sort of old selves that we associate them so much with. And he'll be delighted with that performance, and obviously from an individual point of view, but yeah, I think the team obviously is a really difficult one to take. It is in any game when you concede that late on and lose out on a possible 3 points, but a lot of positives to take from it. I thought Andy Cannon's obviously come on and done really well, but yeah, just overall just really frustrating. I
think Dan Scarr was class, centre back. I think Max did well for his first game back after an injury, but certainly Dan Scarr, he marshalled the troops, he defended when he needed to, he heads a lot of things out.
On a yellow as well.
Yes. So I think they'll be disappointed not to take all 3 points because you're so close. But had you given them a draw before the game, maybe they would have took it for the 2 away games and a home game against a really tough team in Huddersfield. You take your 5 points and you go home and you look forward to your home game then next week.
Yeah, exactly. Cleworth as well. When he first came on, having come back from a nasty injury, immediately he was outpaced by Tyrese Campbell, and you thought, oh, okay, how's this going to work? But after that didn't happen, did it? But Campbell's pace was a threat throughout. I mean, that free kick, I can think at the time that Seb Revan just come on, fresh, not backing himself to be able to catch Tyrese Campbell, who's been running for 90 plus 15 minutes.
Yeah, I thought he was going to maybe not catch him, but at least get back to help and delay with Cleworth already there. But he chose to bring him down. Normally you would expect to then clear the ball from the resulting free kick, but unfortunately they get first contact on it, and then it's anybody's ball and it jumps up and hits Max on the arm. So yeah, really bright. I like Cannon coming on. I thought he injected a thing. It's very similar. It's like the midfielder that is starting grafts and grafts and grafts for this team, and then when you come on as a sub for the last 20, it like really raises the bar, and you think, oh, they've come on and done well. But Rathbone really did work hard. A lot better second half, on the ball a lot more in the right areas. Lee in the right areas of the pitch, had a couple of shots as well. So I think we're all good, aren't we? Do you know what I mean? It's a good 5 points in a really tough week against two of the teams that have come down out of the Championship, and you take it and you go back and you look forward to hopefully getting the new boys fitter and getting them back in some sort of shape so that they can make effect in this first team moving forward.
Yeah, it's frustrating to concede so late, obviously, but it's an indication of the way the team's going that we got into that position in the first place, and we did have chances maybe to kill it off with a third on the break. So we've got to take that point, get on with our lives. Yeah,
definitely, and it is a real difficult place to come. I think we've seen that in recent. Just look at Charlton's form at home. It sort of speaks for itself. I think that obviously that Birmingham result stands out in particular. But there are a lot of teams have come here and really struggled to get points. So maybe it's one you look back on and you're just going to have to take that point. You can't change it now, obviously. But yeah, obviously the manner in which it finished is really frustrating and a difficult one to sort of take. But now it's about bouncing back, making sure we keep those performances away from home and the results will follow.
I think Phil Parkinson will be disappointed that it's two really hopeful balls into our box, isn't it, that they've scored from. A really good header in for the first, and then obviously the penalty in the second. They've not carved us open at really any point. They've not played through us. They've not dominated the ball like other teams have dominated us when we've come away from home. So I think there's a lot of things in that performance that he'll be really pleased with. But first contact on balls into box is key, and we lost two and ended up getting punished by them.
A lot of people on Arse Wrexham were suggesting that Scar was pushed for that first goal, but looking at it, he didn't complain at all, put it that way. He was turning to look at a Concours I don't think could come. But yeah, well, yeah, disappointing the manner of the goals that we've conceded. But having said that, yeah, it's when you consider the start of the season when maybe we were looking to consolidate, we're in a good place. Right. Well, I'm off to get my half and half scarf now. But it was a pleasure as always commentating with you guys, and thanks everyone at home sending in messages. Wrexham go again a week on Sunday against Harrogate. But remember the women's game, big game tomorrow against Cardiff Met. Wrexham really need 3 points from that, and that's a winnable game. Need to make the most of it. So with the final score of Charlton Athletic 2, Wrexham 2, we've been Mark Griffiths, Leah Roberts and Andy Morrell from Wrexham AFC.